Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's May 13th, 2026. We're back once again for a Thursday evening stream. It feels so strange that these come 7 days apart because they feel like 30 days apart. How's everyone doing? It's a Thursday evening, as I said. Gosh, y'all are doing well. We're back. Hey, Eris. How's it going? How's your week been? It's always good to be back. We got some Netrunner this evening. We have a deck list of the week. Welcome again to the AUCO of last year. It feels like every other deck list of the week, if not like 2 or 3 in a row, have all just been MELIES decks. Which, like, MELIES is definitely doing its thing right now and seems to be one of the more performant decks in the meta. But yeah, non-stop MELIES decks. It feels like it's been the last 3 weeks. More MELIES horror today. Yo, Yang Leon, how's it going? Yes, very much more of that. And this one is a different kind of horror. Yay! This one is Sisyphus. Every Melies deck is like a different way to deliver misery, and they're all like pretty potent. This one has the sort of like, oh, if you don't run the right thing, you kind of get a Sisyphus scored. Instead of playing Seamless Launch, which is pretty classic in these Sisyphus lists, we're on the Hollowman and Lacosta. And I don't think I've ever seen a deck playing both of those. But yeah, if you just don't run the thing, whoops. Sisyphus scored. Oops. Hey, Neutron, how's it going? Excited for some Marvel Champions, Ashes, Arkham, Netrunner. We're quite busy out here. Lucy, how's it going? If you're familiar or at least passingly interested in this card game called Ashes, Rise of the Phoenix Born, or Ashes Reborn modernly, on what was it, on Tuesday on the Crash Space, the sister channel, we did a stream in which we taught how to play the game and played some of the PvP modes, sorry PvE mode, some of the like cooperative solo mode. So you can check that out if you want. I might link it in the description if I remember to do that. I probably won't, but it was a good time. It was actually really quite fun. Hey Esrin, hey Tom, congratulations on being first. Listen, you didn't play my last deck a week, so I figured Méliès would be my best chance. Komodo, what was the last one and why did we play it? Also, congratulations. Komodo has been just like jamming Biawak into Méliès decks, I think, for a minute now. This can't be the first one where that's the case. Yeah, the other one was an RH list that had a Biawak in it. Now, if you ask me, I don't know if you have to do that. Obviously, with the name, it kind of lines up a bit better. But the idea with Biawak is it's a big, scary sentry. It has really bad subroutines. But we're playing Jinteki, and Jinteki is the one faction that, you know, has big, scary sentries that people should be playing around, right? Like, if you face check into a Cloud Eater, it will destroy a program, if not worse, and that is equally bad. So it's the sort of thing that you have to play around. So it's like surprising to see a card that is 3 influence and incredibly expensive in a deck which you're already trying to respect the thing. Like, in theory, it's better for you to put like a Biawak into an HB deck where someone will face check into it without expecting it. But it's always been the case where it's like, why do you import heavy sentries into the faction that you have to respect the sentries? So it was a cunning lie to get second Decklist a week. I think you need the context that Komodo shows up to all events with the Komodo Dragon on their shoulder. I read that in the write-up. So like, that makes sense. There's some style there. 3 ETRs with Sisyphus is really good. Sure, but like, I'm not 100% sure if you need your sentries to end the run when you have a Sisyphus. Like, generally people just do the math where they can't run through the Sisyphus again because it's lethal. Or if you play things like, well, less so a teeny, but if you play things like Empiricist, it actually gives you card draw. And if you're playing Anoetic Void, card draw is akin to an end the run in a more convoluted way. Like, I get it, but I also don't want to spend 14 credits rising this. So maybe we'll just send a message, right? Sleepy Lap breaks it for 3 credits and then again and then again. Yep, I suppose. I'm supposing Lat decks break sentries for 3, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the case always. Otherwise, interesting things about the list. We're on 2 Cultivate. It's a cool card. This gives you a bit of agency, which is quite fun. We're on Hanse's and Hedge Funds. We're on Charlotte's and Lacostas, so kind of what you expect. A single Regolith Mining License is not incredibly common. It's a fine card. It's a bit slow, but I do feel like a lot of these decks, if they don't open the Charlotte, they just don't have a sustainable economy. And just having a 1-of sometimes matters when Méliès can bring it back. The Genesuite, we're on 20. We're on Sisyphus protocols, so we really have to care about the positioning of our ice. All of our code gates are sentries. It's just a code gated sentry, right? I thought this was AP or AP or destroyer. It's code gated sentry, of course it is. And we have a Toxin too, which is also something I'm surprised to see, but this one kind of makes sense to make the runner run through it again. And just like mid-range code gates are pretty good. I reckon you could straight up play a horse in this. Now the horse is less good, like a Sleipnir is less annoying to put someone through it twice, but a 5-strength code gate is generally taxing to most rigs regardless, so that's kind of cool. We've seen a lot of like Glacier Méliès decks spend influence on Brands. Like Brand seems to be really good because Botu doesn't stack up that well in the early game against Propeller, but Brand really does. So we'll see how this lines up. And the Empiricist versus Lion's Mane thing, I'm actually kind of interested in Empiricist a bit more than I thought it would be, but this is not a gank deck, so we'll see how it is. Boring deck enjoyers stay winning. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I got like YouTube recommended a whole bunch of conversations about orthogonal versus parallel play. You know, the idea is like, oh, there's 2 players playing their deck at the same time. And that's very much the lat list versus the deck that's trying to make the other person not be able to do something. Anyways, that was good fun. I guess we're just going to jump into it, right? Like, it's just some Méliès Glacier. I think we haven't been classically that good at calling Méliès and calling where we want to be all the time. I don't know if our opponent is outplaying us or whether we're just calling it bad. I think that's a hard thing to kind of come to terms with, but I genuinely can't tell. There's some turns where like immediately after we ended our turn and chose the server for Mélies, we figured out we picked the wrong one. But yeah, I don't know how many times we've been outplayed. I feel like more often than we're just like kind of flubbing it. Notably, this deck also has a Regenesis in it. I guess that's worth shouting out. And Mélies is really good at Regenesis. It does kind of like favor you to put your ID on archives, so they can't run archives and just pop out the agenda. Holloman is actually very important when it comes to Regenesis because it's a way that you can fast advance Regenesis without getting a card into archives. So that's probably a combination that makes a lot of sense in this list. But yeah, I think this was also similar in terms of the agenda structure to the deck that won the Montreal Districts, which was a Regenesis Sisyphus deck. And that's a really scary way to get it going because once you get the first one, the second one goes from there. For what it's worth, I don't think you have to call Mélies right that many times. Even a few free recursions of the game is a huge. I don't think you have to call right every time. How's it going by the Speed Racer? But you want to. Like, it'd be good if we did. It'd be good if we did more. The problem is I'm not so good at it yet. So it's yeah, it matters more when it comes to like protecting archives as a Regenesis deck. So we'll see. All right, let's just get this imported and we're off. It is technically the megacity season, but I don't think there's been more than one megacity so far. I think there's like 2 this weekend. There's one in Adelaide, and I forget where the other one is. We'll probably look it up. But I thought we'd have more megacities by now, more results and stuff to talk about, but we don't exactly have it. And so we're kind of at the part where people are keeping their cards close to their chest, and they're keeping their secret decks. And yeah, that will probably change, but not for another 2 to 3 weeks. I think there's 2 megacities this weekend. One of them is Adelaide. The other one is, oh, Milano. That's sick. That's going to be a really good tournament. There's some really great players in Italy. So this one's always going to be fun to watch. But yeah, those are the 2 that are this weekend. I don't think there's a lot. It's rare to have, I guess, 3 in a weekend. There's only so many megacities. So we'll see how that lines up. Has everyone's Netrunner week been? I think at this point it's like just megacity grinding, I guess. I'm not sure what people are really excited to be out playing there. Hey, Jai, how's it going? You're on 2 weeks, no? Yeah, mandatory vacation. How's that been? Also, congratulations on your AMT win. I read your write-up about the May AMT win since like 2024. I don't know if that was something you knew when you woke up. You're like, shit, it's May. I got to win this one. That's a really fun stat to keep track of. I'll remember it next year. The AMT actually was like, they're not very long. So if you don't know, the accelerated meta tests are things that No Single Games runs. They're free online tournaments, and it's good if you want to participate in organized play. There is a really stacked roster. A lot of people do end up dropping, but it's like, yeah, it's only 6 games, I think. So to win the thing, you have to basically go 5-1 or 4-2 with strength of schedule. So, all right, we're playing against Lucy. Lucy's gonna get lat and breakers down and then make us sad. Oh, it's Mercury. Huh, I wonder what that means for us. So Mercury's going to see cards. I think Mercury's a bit better than we think they are. But Mercury wants to not break ice, which maybe we're experimenting a bit with Baker to be able to run archives and then see multiple cards. So this can just like blow you out. Luckily, we're on send a message. So sometimes the blowout actually brings ice back. As much as a reprise will have something to say about that. Now, I don't love this hand. It has Hansei for economy, but it only has 1 Tattoo Bola. Ideally, we want to put ice on both R&D or HQ in the early game. Not that we can res too much of our ice. We're on 50 ice, so it shouldn't be that hard to do that. I think I'm going to mulligan a hedge fund would be nice too. I mean, that's comparable. Hey, Floating, how's it going? How's your week been? Okay, best of luck, have fun. I really thought we would see the late game lat. Man, I ate like half a lasagna tonight, and I feel like I just ate a brick of concrete. Just slow. Okay, so Tattoo Bola is a hard end the run, which is pretty good. So we can just hard end the run both central servers. I think we have like 9 agendas. 10 agendas, so it's like 1 in 5. So seeing 2 cards in R&D, it's not unlikely we get something stolen. When you go down to 4 cards on HQ, even if it's just like an inside job equivalent to HQ, you know, you can end up seeing 2 cards. If it's the one that runs archives, I think she sees 3 cards. Does the archives one give you multi-access? I think it does. So I think we'll draw. Oh, that's good. Oh, actually, probably shouldn't have snap played that. Well, now we have to because we res the Tattoo Bolas, we're in a bad spot. So we'll just put it on HQ. I actually was more interested in playing against Lolat, so I'm going to put this on R&D for now. If she runs archives for no reason, so be it. If she runs R&D, we can keep the top safe at least. Yeah, jailbreak, okay. So we called it. So we can see the top card of the deck, it's a Lacosta. So she could trash it for 4. We could also trash it and bring something back, but I want to just leave it there, I think. So she sees 3 cards and one of them is safe. If she trashes this to go down to 1, I think we're happy. So I'm not going to trash it. We'll just know the top is safe. No one knows the text on maintenance access. I think it is multi-axis. There's no multi-axis, Laura. How's it going? Every time it's fired to me, it's been like in Mercury, so it kind of lines up. All right, this is not knives, right? So she's going HQ. Any ice can be rezzed here. We res the Tattoo Bully, gets rezzed against Hermes, which is nice. Boomerang is an interesting target against it. But this keeps her out. She only has a 1 in 5 chance, but she has 3 targets. Not that she'll be able to trash 2 of them. I think we can just res this here. I miss Inside Job, reprint when? I'd be surprised if we got direct Inside Job reprint. It's such a perfect card, though. Hey, Pat, how's it going? If only this deck was still in Sisyphus. I feel like I've seen less and less of that card, which is maybe good. For me, we know the top card of R&D is safe. We can do the 1, 2, 3 La Costa Charlotte tattoo. I think we're just going to do that and risk 1 turn of a single axis off top of R&D, let alone we can call R&D, but we know the top of the deck, so it's not super valuable. She knows that one of these is a La Costa, but it should be no surprise. I would say the worst thing about sitting in barracks all day is that I busted my data cap with 2 days to go till the reset, so I'm streaming YouTube and leaning into it. No, how easy to get data? Are you going archives? It just turns off her credit. Now she's going R&D, so she sees 1 unknown card here. Okay. All right, so we use La Costa, the free advancement, and Charlotte will break lock. We have to watch out. So the third Tattoo Bola, all we've seen is the bolas. We could cultivate to set up R&D. I mean, I think that's fine. We just want a big piece of ice in R&D. So we have 1 agenda coming up. It's a Regenesis. We have Samak, Charlotte, Spin Doctor, Charlotte, Regenesis. So we can discard one of these cards. In theory, we can put like, I don't know which one of these we put in the bin. Probably the Charlotte, right? So choose the card to trash. I think Charlotte's the card we don't want. There's 2 of them. And then we can add a card to HQ. So we can add the Regenesis to HQ. And then the top of R&D is totally safe. So we'll do Spin, Charlotte, Samak. That seems good. Top to bottom, yeah. Okay, we don't have much else to do. We can put an ice on R&D. We know Samak is coming up, which we can put on archives. So I think we just put on R&D and we can just advance the Charlotte. It's just about as good as clicking for credit. She should know what that ice is, though. We'll put this on archives because it doesn't really make sense for it to be anywhere else. In theory, we could put it on HQ because at this point that we've drawn through like 11 cards or whatever, 13 cards, she should be just like running HQ with a multi-axis. Yeah, something like this. Laser pointer, pretty good, as much as Sisyphus will have something to say about it. But backstitching, we just have to get lucky that she doesn't hit HQ. We need to get these cards out of here. So Samak into the remote server is probably the play, and we'll just advance to Sisyphus. Because we've seen no, what's it called so far? No, Hermes. So we'll do Costa, Charlotte. Okay, so we do Samak, Sisyphus advance. I don't know if she has real breakers. Sisyphus will work against backstitching and laser pointing. The top of R&D is also clean, I think. So Hermes is the only bad thing, or Irreprise could be bad. Is it Cultivate Lock broken? No. 1 known. Yeah, the top of the deck is a Spin Doctor. I think we'll just put this on our archives. She's played like her 2 clean getaways out of 3, so fun runs are probably less likely to happen. So if she runs R&D, it's a 1 chance. I guess we just put this on HQ. Because she could boomerang transfer, she could like the Capoeira move, I forget the name of. Reprint Spearfishing instead of Inside Job. The difference between Spearfishing and Inside Job was so important because Spearfishing is not a card you can play around largely, but Inside Job was a card that felt more interesting to play around. Let alone Spearfishing never bypassed more than 1 ice, and Inside Job functionally could. Like one of them was so much better than the other one. Now it's the other one. Yeah, one is a Tattoo Bola for sure. In theory, if she just slams Fractor and goes, she gets us. But the outermost could be just about anything on 13 credits. I'm just scared here because like eventually, you know, you'll see 3 cards in HQ off of a good Mercury run. And then like stealing 3 points. In theory, the remote server is much harder for Mercury to crack. Archives is the backstitching. That's good too. Because if it was on HQ, you can just get like a free transfer here. Matchup is entirely down to how quickly you get a Sisyphus scored, and remembering Estebrado Thread text does double bypass a Sisyphus ice. Oh, cool. Yeah, you can use on the same ice. They bypass and then click. That's kind of really neat. I forgot about that. Yeah, I think Debrado's thread 4, so we have some time to work. There's not a doubt in my mind this works. I think she just has double Fractor. Oh, It doesn't work. So luckily all the laser pointers would get through barriers, but we have hard end the runs. Now the thing with Samaxamon is she could take the 3 damage. So she could get through this, but she has to get through the Samaxamon twice, which she can't. So this seems like it's safe. So here if she wants to go through 3 damage, otherwise she can crack through this and she thinks it's a tattoo bullet. So she bypasses. Oh my God, this is an AP. I forgot that was AP. Oh man, she actually had on the table what she needed. So this is her inside job. So res the tattoo bola, we're not gonna get a swap, but basically she has to run through it again and either eat 3 damage or bypass it. So always have a backup plan, now runs it back. She'll gonna bypass this tattoo bola and then use a laser pointer here. So yeah, I forgot it was an AP. I totally did. Because it doesn't hurt you. You choose to hurt yourself. So we lose the Sisyphus, but let's see if there's a reprise here. I think that would be the bad thing. Like, I don't know if we should have played around this. Technically, like, boomerang inside and run works with the laser pointer. I did not realize that this was weak to laser pointer. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? How was Measured? I listened to the first, like, 30 minutes. Maddie was at a movie, so I had some dinner and played some matches and listened. It was good. Yeah, you see, what do I reprise? Yeah, and this is where, like, things are just going to get really, really bad. It's actually not that bad for reprise. We're lucky we didn't res anything expensive. But we got rid of 2 laser pointers, which is probably pretty good. We know the next card is a Spin Doctor. We're still getting a credit. Yeah, I believe so. Yep. And the tattoo ball only flips when it's broken, when no one's passed, right? Oh, it's passed. It just didn't give us the offer because we had nothing in hand. Usually it just says no ice. I don't know why it didn't give us an offer. In theory, I think you reprise HQ here and you see 2, right? Because we've drawn through 15 cards and she can see 2 cards. And so if she steals a Regenesis, like, that's good. She'll still probably have to steal 2 more agendas to win. Yeah, I think it's the only run that makes sense. So Mélies, the top is the Spin Doctor. Luckily we put this here. Yeah, we'll just add it to hand. We can add anything to hand. The Spin Doctor to hand is pretty good. Hoping you picked Archives? Yeah, with 2 clean getaways out. We don't want it. So we could add a bite back here if we had it. Not super likely. Mercury is optional. You don't have to access 2. So we have a Charlotte, which could go down. I think we're just going to go for the spin. Hey, Eric, how's it going? I had a nice time chatting with Safer as always. Ooh, that's a spin. And Regenesis, she finds it in 6. Brutal. Now we're drawing unknown cards. That was the next card on R&D. This is awful. Okay. So backstitching can do a transfer. We have no tattoo bowl ice. We should put the send a message in here just so that we do something. Because I hate losing on centrals. We can do anoetic send a message. Tattoo bowl HQ. And then slowly score this out, especially when we get res dice. We don't have a lot of money, but I'm not expecting a lot of money on this board state. Cool. Probably should put that on R&D actually. It did offer you block the no ice moment of shame. Oh, I did. I blocked it out. Did we just spin to draw and cook a Charlotte to get ourselves out of this? I'm not sure how much money Mercury's going to pressure us. Like, the send a message is not particularly good. I could see us cooking a Charlotte, but I actually don't want to draw two. Like, any turn that we draw twice is kind of scary into Mercury because Mercury can easily just like Debrado HQ and not care. I don't feel bad about that. Yeah. Oh, backstitching is on HQ. Yeah, that's the bad one. We just have to force her to use it. That one resonated. So we made her make a bad run. The Charlotte. She didn't trash the Charlotte. Surprising. We're down a lot of credits, but maybe she thinks this is a Charlotte. Okay. We can do install advanced Charlotte and force her to run it. She is tagged, so we can actually planogram for 3 and 3. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. Okay, so now we have to manage our hand. This is like the bad thing. We get a Sisyphus on top of this. As much as the Sisyphus doesn't matter, she can run the server with just a boomerang. So we have to Spin Doctor manage our hand a bit, I think. The send a message is only good if we have ice. So like the problem is if we ice HQ, she could just play the thing that runs archives and sees 2, and like we could lose the game on the spot. So that, like, that's never good. I don't know if we score the agenda next turn. So I think we just want a teeny like HQ here. We can call archives and we Spin Doctor first, see what we can get. Okay. Yeah, I'll just a teeny HQ and discard a card. Actually, that's not the one we want. I want to keep the Sisyphus because it's the next thing to jam. We'll put this on archives. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Hey, Joel, how's it going? Yeah, maps drawing is always scary to Mercury because I'm assuming she's on the run archive C2 from HQ with Mercury's text. And probably a Docklands Pass too. Hey, First Frontiers, what are people liking for a run right now? Well, today we're going to be playing a whole bunch of MuslihaT, which seems incredibly performative and relatively straightforward to play, like good fundamentals, so I'm excited for that. Shaper's doing okay. Anarch, I still think is doing okay, but that's the one that, like, really, when it comes to the new ban list, how it matters. All right, so she can trash the Spin Doctor or we can pop it. If we pop it, we can put the send a message back. The planogram back is pretty good, but she can always just, like, float a tag. I think we should crack this here. Otherwise, she can run this other central and then run archives. I mean, I don't think we need to risk that. So Sam will go back and Charlotte will go back. Another week, another Mélies deck. It is a fact of life. All right, so we still have no Hermes, but we're discarding a card here. So we could get rid of all our money. That's not good. I think we just want to slow roll this and put an Atini on archives. I should probably put an end the run on archives. And then just click for 2. If this was a Sisyphus, we probably would have scored it, so she might think it's a send a message. So this is maybe the turn where she can do something good, but we have Anoetic money. Install event Charlotte is 2 clicks for 2 credits. I might as well just click for credits. It forces her to run in slightly, but I don't know if we have to use a Charlotte like that. No, Wisdom Move was probably one of the best stream energies from Elevation. It was so good. I think today we're playing like reasonable MuslihaT, but no Wisdom MuslihaT was sick. Is Regas a good alternate from MuslihaT? I don't think so. I don't believe in Regas for what it's worth. Like, shout out to Meteor. But like, I don't think it gives you enough value compared to some of the other options you can play. MuslihaT just getting free card draws is, I would say, better than clicking for 2 credits. Oh yeah, ice doesn't matter. I forgot about that. This is another threat 4 card. But in theory, Lucy can like bypass the Tattoo Bola and just like tank the Smuck if she wants to. Man, our ice is it's annoying. Have to admit at this point I got a pretty burnt out vantage point. I'm now just playing a lot of Marathon. Oh, did you end up going to the event or playing Marathon on the weekend? That was the choice, right? Jailbreak, we're going to R&D. Cool. That's what we called. We can get the Tattoo Bola swap. It forces a Melandra Gym counter. The top of R&D is unknown, but we can leave 1 card there. There's no Hermes yet. Hermes wouldn't be the worst thing for this board state. So she wants to bypass, she can. I guess we'll swap with the Teeny. No further. The top is a Hansei review. We're just going to leave it there. So she only sees 2 cards instead of 3. Top 3 are clean. The question is, what do we res? We're not going to be on threat 4, which is really good. The send a message. Oh, she threw us out a window. That's good. Especially because we're going to get expensive ice here. So we probably just triple advance this and jam. She can run this remote server. The question is, can she pinhole the Anoetic first? I don't know if she can, but there's like some weird line where she like installs a Melandra Gem pinholes and then runs this, I think. But if we do advance, we go into 8. We can either push the Sisyphus or just push the Charlotte. All right, so we can res something. R&D is safe for 2. HQ is relatively safe if we can control it. There's 2 more transfers though, so getting this res seems reasonable. That might be right. I don't know. I think we're overextending. I think we push the Charlotte for a minute. The Charlotte is basically a click for 4 credits and a card draw. I think we start there. We get another ice. I don't think we have to rush it. We'll choose R&D again. This is upcoming weekend. I ended up making plans to do neither. Going to spend some time at the film festival with my partner. We'll enjoy that. That still sounds nice. Ooh, Fizerum. Okay. We might just like take a whole turn to purge this. That's the beauty of Charlotte. I don't know if we actually want to draw 2 though and pass. Like we might just draw 1. We don't have to purge right now. She can technically transfer, but we could just purge this turn and slow advance the Charlotte. I'd rather have a Sisyphus in the remote server for the slow purge, but I'm okay just advancing the Charlotte and not using it because overdrawing cards is technically how we lose. So I'm just going to purge and discard another Hollowman. It's a weird play for sure, but I'm okay with it, I think. We trade a turn while we work on our agenda. All right, she threw out a reprise. Sick. Okay. I've never seen anyone do that. Lamau. I mean, I'm managing my hand. Yeah, I don't want to discard 2 cards, so that's okay. So now we have another ice. She probably has a Hermes at this point. She can Hermes a teeny, but she'll have to take the damage. So we can do 1, 2, put the Sisyphus. I think that's good. And the run on R&D. Yeah, I like that. I don't know what this is off to. She definitely wants to run HQ considering, so this fixes the HQ issue. We don't have that much money. I'm going to put this on HQ. If she runs archives, I don't think there's anything we care about. Like maybe a pinhole is actually what we care about. My meta is very ice heavy, so I'm a little hesitant to play a deck with so little gas for long games. I think it's actually kind of the opposite. Well, I think as long as you put enough cards in your deck that give you value over time, so things like Chesva, obviously, things like the new Shaper hardware that gives you credit, like that's actually one of the cool things. So like if you played Glacier back in the day and you could choose between MuslihaT or you could choose against Sable, there's a chance MuslihaT was actually kind of better. Obviously run events are harder to play, but you get your ability like regardless, just like automatically, which is nice. The thing is like Sable, she has to run, right? So we're never going to Tattoo swap. Nah, we're not, but I'd rather just put more ice in the way because of the issues it can cause. So Melandra Gem bypass laser pointer. So we can install Hollow Man. It's not good enough. So she could run HQ here. I think we just purge one more time. She can laser pointer the teeny. She can bypass the Tattoo Bola, and then she can see 2 here. She in theory could even leg work, but I think we just bypass this, and then she can get maybe a Sisyphus from hand, equally to find the bite. But I think we're happy just purging again. We'll put this on HQ to pad it. Another week, another Mélies. Delta, you know how it is. You know what the meta is like, huh? MuslihaT gets an early Mystic and Touchstone. Debbie, they have infinite Stones of Drip. Yeah. Those sort of cards are actually really good against Glacier. You're right that the run events are harder to play, but you definitely can build a deck where you don't fold into Glacier. All right, so we're going to be on threat. So Melandra Gem, you can bypass. The thing is like Sisyphus works well against that. So we're going to see what happens. I think we're just going to continue to jam their remote server. Oh, no, wait, that's our whole turn. So we can do triple advance and just see what happens. I think I'm okay with that. If we install the Hollow Man, we can place 2 counters. Let's see what happens. Still no Hermes. Cultivate's actually really good because it allows us to control the top of the deck. And the top of the deck is how we lose to Mercury. Because that's where all the agendas are. So I think we hold the Cultivate. Hansei is obviously money. We have a lot of ice that we still technically have to res. I think Hollow Man might be the worst card in our hand. All right, so now we're on threat 4, which means you can trash this to bypass. So she can bypass once per turn things that are 3 or less, or you can trash this to bypass or remove from game more accurately, right? Yeah, cool. So we put this on HQ. So the Tattoo Bowl is going to force a Melandra Gem counter, and then a teeny you're going to have to go through twice. So we'll see what happens. Hey, Brennan. AI viewers, excuse me? Oh, that's an ad. That's why. Well, don't touch that. How do I report? You have no ice. Thank you. I think you're meant to use the other Melandra Gem, right? Yeah. She realized. Yeah, no stress. Yeah, you want to keep the one that has 1 counter because it can bypass anything. At this point, it just says, do you want to use Melandra Gem? And it doesn't make it obvious which Melandra Gem we're talking about. So like a reprise here is really bad. She threw out 1 from hand. If she has another one, she can blow up the teeny and then like maybe go HQ. Manual fix or undo. Okay. It's probably just saying, do you want to use a Melandra Gem? And then when you highlight it, I don't think it tells you. Oh, jailbreak, nice. There's no ice that she can get through here, but we have to get lucky. Like she sees 3 cards here. We could just lose to that. Or we could get lucky. In theory, Melius and R&D was a bit better here. Maybe she thinks we have no points in hand, but I think the math suggests we should have some points in hand here. So this is like full random. Okay. All right, so we can pay a credit to make this happen twice, or we can jettison a card. First time, this gets laser pointed. We'll pay a credit. We don't have a lot of money. Second time, she has to use a Melandra Gem, so she has very limited breakers at this point. She can also just take 3 net damage. We can still fire Bite though, which is scary. So she doesn't have a lot more runs left. So 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Nice. I think we're good now. So much of this is just like holding your breath. Because it's all about like these haymakers, and if they connect, you lose. Big thing. So you can still do 1 big bypass. We haven't seen Boomerang. Sometimes you don't want to play Boomerang with Mercury because it breaks subroutines. But we've seen 2 laser pointers. The other card that we have to play around is Estebrado, which can work now. She can fire those, no problem. And or she has... Where's the other laser pointer? Oh, we're not sorting? Oh, there we are. Yeah, so 3 laser pointers are out. 2 Physariums are out. 1 always have a backup plan. So she probably has 3 Estebrados, 2 always have a backup plans. So she is going to be able to run central servers kind of regardless. I think it's good to have the innermost thing against Atini, against Estebrado, because she bypasses this, then hits the Atini, then has to hit the Atini again. She's also used Mercury, so this should just be a single axis. I don't know if she's playing... We haven't seen a lot of influence. She could be playing the Destroy card. She could be playing the Chain Reaction. I wouldn't be surprised if she's playing Chain Reaction the way that she's playing right now. But if that's the case, she has to run back through the Atini again. Yeah, Chain Reaction incoming. It feels like it. Yeah, this run doesn't make sense. This is strictly wrong. You cannot do. Yeah, because then she has to hit the Atini again, which takes 3 cards out of her hand, so it's unlikely for her to hit a Chain Reaction. But it does look like she's a Chain Reaction deck. We've seen very little to no influence. We've seen literally no influence, so yeah. The 1 card we have to play around is Window. Oh yeah, she also wants to check if this is the 3rd Tattoo Bola, but they're all on the table, so this is a free run. So she can like run HQ and hope to have a Chain Reaction. If she has 2 in hand, it's not even guaranteed. Good old Sisyphus, time to add 3x gank for runner to never stop encountering the same sentry. I mean, the meta proves so far that you don't have to do both. Generally, people do 1. I don't think I've seen a Sisyphus ganked deck. Oh, actually, no, that's not the case. In Montreal, that happened. But usually people either play 3 Sisyphus or 3 ganked. I'm not going to endorse either. It's YOLO or lose. You opening 4 fractures was real bad for me. Yeah, the end the runs would be good. Yeah. 3 hard for recursion? I'd be surprised. I don't know if you need that sort of recursion, Mercury. You do appreciate it. It's just like a slow card, of course. All caught up. Eric, welcome back. All right, we're doing it. I think this has to be a Chain Reaction. Oh. Used to be on 3x gank, turned out to be not that good IMO. People are like teching slightly for ganked because it was such a big part of the meta and still is. Like Fencer Fueno is a bit better. So we're windowing the Atini and then bypassing it with the Melendregem, and then we're going to go ahead and blow stuff up. No install. Yeah, this is a Chain Reaction for sure. I'm not sure what the text on the card is. I think she destroys 2, we destroy 1. So that's not going to be good for us. 3 is probably too much, but 2 would be probably miserable runners. If you've been tuned into the meta, there's some very, very good decks that won multiple districts that were all running 3 ganked. Hit the Charlotte. Ooh, that's a good trash. All right, so Chain Reaction. Yeah, so the runner trashes 2, we trash 1, but she has nothing. So that was 5 influence. We lost. What did we lose? 2 Tattoo Bolas? I feel like that can't be that bad. That's really funny. 2 Tattoo Bolas. Okay, we just drew our Biawak. Phenomenal. Those don't say AP or Destroyer. So in terms of AP or Destroyer stuff, she has no more laser pointers, right? All the laser pointers are out. She has 1 more Physarium. She has all the Debrados and stuff like that. The top 2 of R&D are unknown, so R&D is technically safe this turn. I think she's played every jailbreak. So she has to play like legitimate multi-axis. So I think our remote server is the safest server. So we do Sisyphus, credit. We're weak to like Pinhole run the remote server. She still has to get through a Tattoo Bola, which is genuinely tricky. But I think that's like our best line is just put this in the remote server and then win in like 2 turns. We could do credit Hansei. That's probably better, but it takes 2 cards out of her hand, which means we can only fire Anoetic once, but I think that's probably worth it. We could keep the Biawak, but like it's only for this Tattoo Bola. I think we're just going to throw it out. All right. We'll pick R&D is safe. We'll pick HQ here. She could run Archives for fun, but I don't think we care that much. You can res him if you forfeit Sam. Objectively correct. It's literally the bypass deck. I don't want to res a 14 credit card that's going to get bypassed twice. Yeah, just Mando. Top 2 are unknown. Monster? So sorry, Komodo. You gotta like respect against it's a Mercury like chain reaction deck. I'm not putting the Komodo on the table. It's so bad. All right, so the top 1 card of R&D is known, so we're just gonna cultivate and fix it. So the top of R&D has no agendas, so if she can't run the remote server, that's game. So we'll trash, I don't know, I guess an Anoetic. Yeah, that's really bad. So all the points are in the bottom. So having a second Anoetic and remote server is good, but I don't see how she deals with the server anyway, so we'll just throw it out because it's trashable. We'll add a non-trashable to hand, and then top of the deck will be 1, 2, 3. Okay. In theory, we could advance the Sisyphus once because it plays around pinholing the Lacosta, so fine, I guess, and we'll just click for credit. In theory, we could use 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 credits, so we could play Hedge Fund. I don't know. I don't know how she challenges this. I'm just going to click for credit. We'll put this on HQ. This is Mercury run no consoles. So far, we've seen no console, which is super surprising because like our Hermes is really, really good in Mercury. It just really messes you up. Where it's like, oh, they send it R&D Hermes reprise. And just like the fact also we're playing Window is really good with Hermes, but we haven't seen a console yet. I don't know. 3x Hermes is the first thing I put into any Mercury deck. Does Sisyphus believe in Hansei? Wait, what does that mean? I haven't looked at the decks of the week and I joined too late to hear it discussed, but as soon as I saw Biawak, I knew it was a Komodo deck. Yeah, 100% it's a Komodo deck. I think I'm cooked because of Sisyphus. I mean, it never helps. Maybe you're hedging against your own chain reaction. Yeah, actually, the Lacosta is a hedge against a chain reaction, but she can always just trash the agenda against a chain reaction. So if she chain reactions us here, like she blows up the agenda, not so much the Lacosta Anoetic. It actually might have been right to draw the Anoetic and put it on a central and use that to chain or to go against a chain reaction. That might actually been a better play. The only thing that can get us here is chain reaction, really, because we know the top of R&D is safe. So like Hermes is not a problem. I'm not bypass to avoid the chain reaction, my hand getting trashed, and chain reaction, the remote is my out of here. Yeah. So I honestly think there's a chance that drawing the Anoetic and putting an R&D was the right line. Just because we do lose the chain reaction, and she could survive. The thing is, like, she has to get through an Atini and not take the damage. We also can res a bow too, which she has to have a Debrado for that or something. Oh, no console because of chain reaction? I mean, Hermes is an absurdly cheap console that I would still play. I'd still play a console if I'm a chain reaction deck. Yeah, it doesn't look like she's on a console. I needed to have drawn the third Melandrodrome and installed the last turn or another backstitching. Yeah, backstitching is really rough because if you install it this turn, it does nothing because it only identifies a mark at the top of the turn. So if she has to run, it's all based off of us Debrados. We've seen none so far, so her hand has to have at least like 2 Debrados, right? And Debrado does technically like beat Sisyphus. It just uses a click. So actually it is kind of tricky. So you have to do Sisyphus. Yeah, you can't chain reaction if you ask Debrado into a Sisyphus. Can she run this? This is likely an Anoetic. There's no other upgrades in the deck. Holloman we would have used by this point, probably. So she can't run this twice. Usually her Mercury's bad at running it twice. Trashing Biawak is even more offensive the time that you didn't play my deck. It was actively not a card we wanted to put on the table. I'm not resing it. And the deck is going to bypass it. It's a very expensive card. Some would even say the most expensive ice in the format. What's the tier cost? 10? Only think 3 cards out of your hand, then always have a backup plan to remote. That could work. That could work, but you'd have to also play around Mélies because I could draw a card. Yeah, so the plan of running HQ 3 times and thrashing 3 cards, which technically is a line as much as all the other problems, and then running this remote server. The issue is because we put Mélies on HQ, we can get a card back. That's how we lost the game to Ion, where Ion trashed a card out of our hand and we put Mélies on like archives or something, and then we didn't have 2 cards for Anoetic. So yeah. I do think it makes sense that Mélies is 100% on HQ here because we have no reason to put it on archives, and we know R&D is probably safe, or at least the top. We can make it so the agenda is 3 down. Cultivate is so good in this matchup. This is where Cultivate is so good. It's like a tempo card. It draws you deeper. Not exactly a tempo card. That's not totally correct. It does just replace itself, which is like pretty sick. But like locking the top of R&D is so good against Hermes. I think my only ask that you saw 4 gens and I get to reprise. So, I mean, she can go for it. Estebrado. Okay, so we're going to spend a credit. Yeah. So expensive. Wow, 1 credit. So now she gets to see 2 cards. Nope. I forget where they were, but now she has to figure out how to win. Make you have it? Yeah, okay. There's a world where it's not analytic? Not realistically. If it was a Holoman, we probably would have used it. If we're playing open deck lists. But like, you might as well force the person to have it. Just Anoetic, Holo, and Lacosta. So could be a Holo, but probably not. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to be a Holoman. It's not 0, but it does make a lot of sense. Chain reaction to stop an agenda is really, really cool. And I don't think we realized how late we got into this matchup without seeing influence. And for what it's worth, actually, it would have been worse if she was on deep dive, I think. Like deep dive would have been more of a problem, probably than chain reaction. But of course, chain reaction is a funny card. So she can't even get through this. Wait, how are you getting in this? She has to be able to at least to break the tattoo bola. In theory, she could be like clicking for 4 and saying we won't res, but we had no reason to res that. Okay, so it's a backup plan. So if we res the 6 and what do we go to 2, we're credit perfect to score out. He's a good lizard. I mean, I would even say he's a great lizard. But there's certain boards states that don't need that many lizards. I choose to believe you're flooded despite all my better judgment. We're going. Okay, cool. I hope we get her with the snare. Yeah, I was in there too. GG. Thanks for the game. The realization that it was a chain reaction deck took a minute. Yeah, I've never seen a chain reaction go off, let alone trash 2 tattoo bolas. Is super, super funny. Good game, Lucy. Drew them late, yeah. In fact, like, I don't think Lucy's playing any card draw. And I think, like, the deck seems to be not playing any resources whatsoever. But I don't think you have to do that. But literally everything was click for draw. Besides 3 jailbreaks, right? Chain Reaction Mercury is the only place that makes sense to me, though. Ironically, I should have blown up that teeny and just drawn into bypass, because with Sissy, I can actually just tank anything. I think, yeah, I think you do blow up the remote. Yeah, I think the chain reaction actually just blowing up the remote server is better for us, because we still need to figure out how to score out. And the later, like, the longer we wait to score out, the more we flood up in HQ potentially, and that's when you can capitalize. But like, play Hermes, right? So glad everyone's bite pilled Visitron. It goes so hard when you play one of, and you can just put on, like, see it on top of R&D or add it to Archives HQ. Like, this 1 bite in the context of Mélies, or the 2 bites you play in Mélies, is like kind of playing 4 bites. It's gross. Like, genuinely, recursion on bite is grinding out reg runners. Like, I've seen so many criminals just eat 1 too many bites and they just lose because they lost 6 cards. Like, it sucks. It's not like the sort of cool, cheeky, you know, bluff play. It's just like attritional bite. 100% a prod remote that only cares about Central's deck. I have no breakers, is fully boardless. That I'm not surprised. No permanent board. I think you should play Hermes. It's really good. Saying I should play more bites in Bangoon and install them face up so people know. I should have accepted I would need bypass the line to Centrals instead. Yeah, Hermes is a discussion, but you just reinstall the ice. Like, I have the total volume of ice. Yeah, but it slows me down by turns or 2. Yeah, like, we can always repair a Hermes, but then you have to play around in a certain way where, like, you leave the thing on the table for longer and then you spend more clicks repairing, and those clicks repairing are clicks and credits instead of jamming out. Like, Hermes is just so absurdly good. And it also, like, causes these plays that Lucy kind of had access to, where, like, you Hail Mary R&D, you find an agenda, you bounce the agenda in the remote server, you just buy yourself 2 turns, let alone you can bounce the upgrade and something else, right? Yeah, Cultivate's really good. GG. Here's the game. Yeah, Cultivate was really, really good. All right, it's 9:30. I mean, I think I'm going to do one more with this deck because there's a lizard in it. We might actually res it, but if you're tired of watching Mélies, please let me know. I'm imagining some people are. There's only another non-twinning virtual anarch resource win con that doesn't require you to touch much cards. I don't think there is. Another non-twinning virtual anarch resource win con. Oh yeah, there is. There is one more. I don't mind it too much. It's actually pretty okay. You do have to still touch cards though, Wenchong. Snare has been and still is the best corp card in Netrunner in this S. Well, that's CR Merc. Someone turn into a real deck, please. I reckon you can blow people out. Yo, Chaos Juggler, how's it going? Hey, hey. Okay, playing against Lou, 40 cards. This probably has to be a clean, good list. Opening hand has a Teeny and a bunch of trashables. We have a Cultivate and a Hansei, which is pretty good. A Teeny on HQ seems just good enough. Playing on tablets, it might be a bit wonky. No stress. I think we can keep this. I don't think we played a single Hansei last game. What do you think the non-Jiteki corp options are? I'm not sure if HB has been entirely hated out of the meta by like Lou decks and stuff like that. I reckon those are playable. Like the Flood the Market decks are probably pretty good still. In terms of Wayland, I got no idea. I need to undo that's why. Perfect. Yo, Jeff, Chaos Juggler, is this gray? Okay, so we have a Teeny, we have a Tattoo Bola. Tattoo Bola is fine for the early remote server. A Teeny's a bit better on centrals for a bit of pressure. In theory, we should start with the Cultivate to put the top of the deck in the right order. Op's still getting there, but it's not tier 1 anymore. I want to explore a bit of Op. Okay, Hansei, Sisyphus, Linesman send a message. That's a problem. That we could throw out an agenda and then just like ice R&D and HQ, but we have to be able to res both of them, let alone the opponent can just like full send it and then run archives. But this is bad because there is 5 cards. Oh, it's Jess, right? It is. That's sick. So for those that know, Jess won Worlds back in, I want to say 2018, 2017. Jess, I don't know if I've met Jess in person. Charleston a generate effort. I think we do. KCD, how's it going? But then we have to like ice up both centrals. We have to play this quick, I think. The thing is like we kind of want to Hansei an agenda. We could throw out a send a message. I think that's the best case scenario. And then we can get the Atini. So the card to add to HQ is probably the Hansei. This is going to be bad. Sisyphus, Lionsmane. I mean, okay. So we can't actually ice. This is falling apart. So we can get more money, but we want to ice both because we want to force this run. So we're going to need a hard end to run on R&D at some point, but probably not. I mean, there's a lot of hope here. This can't be the line. I want to play BTL a lot. It's just Hermes all the way down. I can see BTL being all right. I just can't tell what sort of BTL you want to play. From my understanding, a lot of the Wayland decks were like good against Anarch versus Seb. I'll put the Teeny on the remote there. Yo, Beeblum. And maybe we should because we know that we're not drawing into anything for a minute that we can actually do something with. We got our credit, which is fine. So the next card on the top of the deck is a Sisyphus, which we kind of want to set up. Lionsmane usually ends the run, but not necessarily. They threw out Sure Gamble Rising Tide. Or played, wow. Okay, so pretty reg start. They didn't challenge. We want to play this Hansei to be able to res our money. I don't think we're going to be able to use an Anoetic Void anytime soon, considering our hand is going to be half agendas. So we could do Lionsmane, remote server, put something in there. I don't think they have a big reason to run an unadvanced card in Méliès. We are going to need money more than anything. We could do draw, Lionsmane, Hansei. We know there's a Sisyphus on top of the deck. I'm getting rid of the Anoetic, I think, because I don't think we're going to be able to fuel it. And this gives us enough money to res both the centrals ice, which seems important. Yeah, we're in a bad spot for sure. And the fact that we know our future, we have to sit in it is pretty bad. Oh, man. A Teeny remote also invites a runner to run, but either you give the Méliès trigger to steal a Sam, either what you want there. Okay, we have a Fractor, we have a Fermenter, and a Taka. So they're definitely on a clock to run because the Taka forces you to run every once in a while. Okay, so we want another piece of ice here. This is an unknown card. We always do Lacosta Sisyphus, but they probably do run it at that point. The Lion's Mane might not end the run. It could just knock out 6 cards of damage. But would you knock out 6 cards of damage for a Lacosta Sisyphus? Maybe you do if you think it's Lacosta Charlotte. I think we have to make an aggressive play here. But it's usually 4 damage and 3 credits, which is like totally attainable. So we can't do that. We have to draw another piece of ice. Or a way to Hansei something. Okay. Let's just have money. Lacosta Bites ended. I'm not that confident. I think Lou will run HQ at some point. But if that doesn't get run, like, I guess we're in a really bad spot. They are doing this sort of parallel play thing where they are just setting up. So we'll see how quickly they run. It's only a matter of time before the Gachapon comes down, and then you just find your Buzzsaw, and then you're kind of doing anything you want to. So we need another ice here. Otherwise, we can do Lacosta Sisyphus. This can also get you a Botulus, which can double break whatever this ice is. I mean, that helps. Oh, wow, that really helps. Let's see if they respect this. You're going to use the Coast Advance to bite? Sure. But then if we don't score it that turn or the next turn, they know not to run it. All right. I'm good with this. Be cool. Yeah, we're gaming. Looks like we're gaming. Who guessed we would be gaming this hard? Oh no, the game's messed up. That's sick. That's really good for us. So Atinis are really good. The question is like, when do they crack the Gachapon, and then when do they get their Buzzsaw and the Tungsten Tailor? But now face checking is going to be a fair bit scarier because the Sentry check. Praise Jackson, that was such a good draw. The Regenesis off the top means we actually can like push forward. So what are we keeping here? The second Sisyphus is a bit silly. Nice, thank you. I needed that. I'm not gonna write that because the show's so flooded. Oh man. Newish Lurker may be entirely off topic. Would you recommend starting learning Netrunner the web version or buying System Gateway? What would be the better first experience? Peter, I think it's easier to learn card games usually in paper, especially if you have nice people to play with patiently. Playing on Jinteki.net is fine, but like so much of this game, what makes it magical is putting cards face down and looking at them and bluffing your opponent. Like this game is a mixture of a card game like Magic the Gathering and poker, right? Like it's a bit of a chess game and it's a bit of a poker game. So it's both. Okay, we get a fire ability here, which is good. So having that in person is like super, super important. I would rather play in person with people. I think I would have bounced off this game if I just played online. We have to trash this to bring back the Sisyphus. Now we have a 1-pointer to res Biawak. Well, yeah, actually, I would be excited for Biawak. Okay, so this is a Lion's Mane, which is pretty good. If we purge, it's pretty high value. We also have to consider icing up archives. So we could do 1, 2, 3 and just say that's enough. It might be. The Gachapon could pull a killer. This is a lot of money on the fermenter, but I want to purge once we have a Lacosta cooking. So we'll do this, and I think we'll put this on. It's hard to see where they will face check. They definitely want to be running because of Leech and Taka. Like the run is good. I guess we put this on HQ. That's the server I think you want to run the most of. Only there's a website with System Gateway implemented where the interface is closer to playing in person. It's not the interface problem. It's the literally like playing in person problem. Because like I also would recommend Shiraboga if you wanted to play in person like that too, right? Okay, Buzzsaw Leech means that they can face check. That came off of the Gachapon. I did not see what else is on the Gachapon. Nothing surprising. Tungsten went back. Raindrops into the Lion's Mane. Cool. So this can hit twice. So they probably are squaring away their Steelskin Scarrings, but this is a scary ice to fire twice. And Sisyphus is after they pass, right? Yeah, so if they end the run here, it doesn't waste it. So we hit a Nukin Gachapon, good. Pay 3. Let's see how many Steelskins are in there. They pay 3, so this is a big important question because if they do it again, they're going again. Yeah, okay, cool. So we don't have to purge anymore. We just want to draw another piece of ice. Thanks. Yeah, Peter, please. Also, if you want to get involved in Green Level Clearance Discord, you can search that up on Google. You'll find it. But if you do want to jump into Jinteki.net, that's a place where you say like, hey, I'm a newer player. Can someone walk me through it? And someone will like patiently get on voice chat or walk you through your first JNet game. Because JNet is not exactly a rules engine. You technically can do weird stuff. So you just want to keep that in mind. I think we can res this. All right, Empiricist is really quite good here. We're not putting a lot of pressure on Centrals. We got our Mélies credit. I think we just push it. They haven't found a killer yet, but they have a lot of credits. No twinning either. So I'm okay to do draw Hedge Fund Empiricist. We can also just do Hedge Fund Empiricist credit. The Tattoo Bull is the one soft server. I'm just going to take money because we do need money. If we advance this one more time, we could jam the next turn, but I don't want to push this third Sisyphus. It's kind of useless. We'll put this on HQ, I guess, as our softest server. I think we're meant to pimp out NRO. I haven't used it yet because NRO like went into public beta the exact week that like Vantage Point came out. So, or the week before, it was a bit awkward. If we score another assist, is Doomtown for runner? I don't know if I would. I just want to score a 2 into this. Okay, so Leech Buzzsaw. We res this for 6. That drops us so we can't res the Empiricist. So if this trashes Lacosta, that's why we want to advance this one more time. How many credits does this force out? This forces out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We res 6. They spend 7. I mean, I guess we do. This also costs us a credit, but yeah, we can no longer res this. They still don't have a killer, so they probably don't challenge the server. Yeah, green level clearance is the Discord server you want to be at. Fireall. We're on threat. Steel skin, and hitting a revolver is really sick. So that came off of a steel skin probably. Now we're not going to get our credit, which sucks. And the Lacosta is going to go down too for Lou, which is 3 and a card draw. That's a reason why we did advance that again, but I don't think we're in a rush. Was there a world where tossing the bite was better? I don't know. I like bite. Like, again, we don't have, what's it called anymore? Ashen. And like, they only have 12 cards left in stack. Like, sure, the bite can come back. I just want to say, like, the bite is actually kind of important. We do have to res ice on all central servers, though, because otherwise the leech will overrun us. Tungsten Taylor, okay, so now the 1 leech counter goes pretty hard, but you need 2 leech counters. So they got the twinning down. They didn't run another leech counter on a turn that we were kind of weak. This looks like a spin doctor for sure. That has to look like a spin doctor. So we'll see what they do with that information. I mean, like, that's such an easy spin doctor play, right? Like, oh, this is useless. I'm going to toss it. The thing is they want to run to some extent because they have Tungsten and Taka and Keiko, and they want to get leech counters. But running once a turn to Mélies is like kind of a bit weird. Okay, with 1 click left, we're guaranteed to get something. Oh, never mind. What was that? Was it a fencer? No stress. This also looks like a failed table bite. Yeah, you're right. It was advance off of Lacosta. Ooh, double undo click. What was click 2? Draw? Oh, you can't undo a draw. Okay, there you go. Hey, Judge, like, how's it going? How's your week? Yeah. Totally. That sounds right. Yeah, for those who don't know, Jess won Worlds with this, like, it was CI. Was it brain rewiring? Or was it just like efficiency combo? That was the last Worlds that FFG put on, Magnum Opus Worlds. It was their casting. I don't know if I met Jess. That was a good Worlds. How many world champs do you have to win to unlock undo draw? You get 1, they give you a buy card. You can use it at any one tournament. It was Stinson combo. Yeah, right. Realize now that it could still be regen Fuji pivot? No. Or spin doctor. If you want to play around that, you have to run like a central and then run archives. All right. They found it out. So they're going to get our 2 points from archives, which is sick. So resing this Tattoo Bullet doesn't really do that much. I think we'd rather not res this. It is just converting the Taka credit, but this will turn us off. So yeah, good run. The Sisyphus CIL that just scored the fast advance 5-3. Yeah, the 5-3 with 2 clicks on it. I mean, I don't even know if we fire bite here. The Teeny on archives is like 7 credits. It's not even that good. Oh, geez, that's bad. Oh no, they're gonna be on game point. Yeah, elective upgrades. Oh, our spin doctor play. So we res this, they have to break it. The thing is, like, it mostly texts out 2 leech counters, and they break it for 2. It charges the twinning. They can still boost with Taka with Rising Tide, so it doesn't really force us to do anything. But this puts us down to 0 credits. Oh, that's so bad. Always fire bite? I mean, not always, but sometimes. Man, our play was so good, they sniffed it out. So we can res nearly any ice on the deck here besides the Biawak. If this is a Biawak, it's game winning. But they are not respecting the Biawak. So Komodo, you got something here. If this was a Biawak, we just like win the game. Yeah, we can't res this. It's way too much money. And then we can't top deck. I think we have only 1 more hedge fund, 2 more hedge funds. I just need to get the leech counters accounted for. If you res, you have to trash it for Sisyphus to ever be good again. All right, so they think there's a Regenesis in the remote server, and rightly so. They did boost. They did boost, right, because they got a credit from stealing with Paladin. She's angry. Sometimes you can throw out a Rising Tide if you have another one coming. Because we still are looking for a Sentry Killer. I'm assuming we're on Revolver Echelon. I don't know if you can just play 2 Revolvers. I think you'll run out of breaks. Oh man, that turn was really bad. Hitting out of HQ is really, really bad. Throwing out Paladin, okay. Tactical is on 3. Why is raising Artini bad for Sis? I don't know what it is, but if we have to pay to fire, we have to pay to play, which is pretty bad. So this server is still our best server. I could put a Lacosta in there and just click for 2. That puts us at 9 credits. We can res both of these, and Tattoo Bowl actually does something. I'm okay with this. We can also res this and then purge next turn. I think we put this on archives. I don't know if we're running a TD for fun. I don't think they have a huge incentive to run HQ here. Assuming that the runner always has leech counters, they can just bounce off the TD to fizzle the Sisyphus ability for cheap. There's the Echelon. Okay, so now the game's a bit cooked. But they only have 6 cards left, so just a number of bites. But this deck is not on like Fuji, so not that the Fuji on game point actually matters, but yeah, it does tax the leech counters. Okay, this seems bad. Echelon, you have to boost, so you're spending a lot of money on this. Yeah, we'll just res. More importantly, resing the Satini is now bad because we couldn't make a play here. So you're still gonna have to boost for 3. Right? Like, this is still very expensive. Man, Tungsten Tailor is just so gross. Yep. Yeah, Tungsten's absurd. Just absurd. Just... It's Turbine again. So Empiricist again. They're gonna be on game point anymore anyways. Like, we only have 1 more 2-pointer, so them stealing this doesn't actually really change the math that much. So they can either boost this twice and use 2 leech counters, and break this for 3, and then break this for 3. That's 6. At 6, they can't trash the Lacosta, but that's fine. Oh, they're letting us fire sub? I don't know what sub it is. Oh, draw a card. Okay. No, we're fine. Just draw one? Yeah, cool. And then like we lose to twinning on R&D eventually. I don't think it's this turn, because if we would, we could put the Anoetic on top. Do 2 net. What subroutine did they not break? They took 2 net damage? Sick. Down to 9 cards. Would have been happy with a Takobi 2.0 than Turbine 2.0. Yeah, I think Takobi is such a more defensible thing because it forces you to interact, but Tungsten Tailor not caring about it. Like, well, it does care about interaction, but you know what I mean? Like, Takobi is interesting. All right, we're grinder now. We got 9 cards left. This bite has to do a lot. Why do we consider Tungsten absurd and Carver was just a functional rig piece? Well, Tungsten is not a resource, and it's also an econ card on top of being an econ card. Oh, don't hit the bite here, please. I guess they're going to hit the bite. They did use a whole 20 on this, and we're gonna lose the void too. We are now totally in a back foot. We are lost con cornered. Okay, so at least putting things in the remote server over and over again is good. But if we never get the credits to res these cards, the leech will overrun us. So I guess we just do this and say, like, consider running this over and over again. They do know the one card in HQ is this. Technically, they have no reason to run that besides the cheap leech server, so I guess we'll put it there. So hard to trash the Tungsten Tailor and also gives the eco for some reason. Ice Carver is much more fair. Yeah. It's like that was just a cost reduction. Also, the breakers at the time, some of them were still very good when it came to Ice Carver. Like, obviously, Yogg was its own thing. But like Black Orchestra had some big breakpoints. But at the end of the day, using Black Orchestra still on average costs you way more than Buzzsaw. Yogg was its own problem. But like, I don't mind that Yogg was stronger. The fact that Yogg couldn't boost its own strength gave it like a legitimate downside that I like. Oh, we put this on our R&D, huh? On HQ. Can consider that you could find Carver off of Gachapon? Yeah, I don't know if that matters that much. I mean, that's good, but there's other cards you can get from Gachapon. I don't think it makes it. It's not like a card that you're rushing down, right? Our money. Do we pop the Spin Doctor here? They can see 2 unknown cards. There's 3 send a message and 26. That's the only thing that we lose to. Or 2 smaller agendas. Also, strength reduction is better than icebreaker boosting, technically. To be honest, I think Buzzsaw just gets banned. I wouldn't mind it, but then I think we might be in like a, oh my god, Sleipnir is absurd world. Okay, so they only saw the Atini. They did not see another card. This Atini does not cost them enough to break. We are actually at a point where Sisyphus isn't doing a lot of work, because every time we fire Sisyphus into a teeny buzz of tungsten, and you saw like Chaos Juggler, they just like rushed this rig down. They understood this game was going to go long. They don't really want to be aggressive early. Getting this down, and it wasn't that fast, but this is only turn 11, which is like relatively mid game, but it's very much late game when they only have 2 cards left over. Notably, Lu is forced. So if they do trash stuff, they eventually will run out of cards, which is good fun. But like, I don't know if we have a play here besides click for 3. I don't know what to be calling. I think the problem with Buzzsaw ban really is that Anarch is basically breakerless. Yeah, you're not excited about your Rising Tide? The cat is really good. Begamut's really grossly good. But it's obviously a pretty strong build around. I think you have to put Tattoo on R&D. It costs them 1 credit to run it right now. Yeah, maybe. I could see that. I wanted to keep an ice in hand for the Tattoo Bowl on HQ. Luckily, we do have that. We've been just calling this wrong every time. They know our whole hand. They're just running this because it's a cheap leech counter. And oh my god, Tattoo Bowl actually into Tungsten is not probably something we want to be doing in hindsight. Yeah, just fire this. Okay. Yeah, they break this for +1 credit. No, they gain 2 credits when they break Tattoo Bola? Yeah, no worries. They actually make 2 credits breaking a Tattoo Bola. What are we doing? Tattoo is free for them. Not even free. They break it with Toxta, gain a Keiko credit. Gain a credit off of Tungsten. It's technically +2 credits for us, but it's +2 credits for them too. Like, we have hit the flattest board states. The only card that we have that can like unfairly interact with them is Bite and Anoetic. And there's only 1 Bite. Yeah, we get 4. I mean, it's still something. They might not want to do it when we're in the dumps, but every turn is another 20 counter. Yeah, they're just going to be clicking for credits the same way we are. I don't wonder if we Lacoste the Spit Doctor, but like them clicking for credit. Oh god. That's the 1 card that snuck through. Be cool. We could have buried this with Spin Doctor. Maybe we should. This is the 1 card in the hand they don't know, so they could use 2 twin encounters to see the whole hand. That seems pretty expensive. I mean, we have to. We just have to res everything, but then they are forcing their way into HQ. Cool. We made them pay 5. That's the best we could ask for. Axis. threateningly. All right, we'll put that back. Continue. What do we need? We need econ. Easy to play econ. We probably also need Anoetic Void, let's be honest. That's the only one way we can unfairly win here. I'll just put an Anoetic back. Put the bite on top. Let's go. Imagine paying 5 credits to break into teeny. Good. Put bite back into grinder WinCon. We're gonna do that with a good old red hallway or something. Green hallway. One of the hallways will get us a bite back. Oh, now they're gonna see 3 unknown cards. There is 3 and 24 of 3-pointers. Okay, they trashed 1. It was a Charlotte. So now they only have 7 cards left. Eventually we'll grind them down. This is why you play 2 bites. Installing a Fencer Fueno. That won't probably matter. It does hedge around ganked a bit. So I think we just click for 3 to threaten bite. I honestly think they'll run HQ at this point because it's the cheapest server and we drew 2 unknown cards. But like the only way that we win is like putting the bite into hand and they see the bite. The thing is like the card you pull back, they can see that it's a bite before they use twinning counters. Because this is when you're breaching and this is on a successful run. Yeah, there you go. Seeing a small stack and having Levy AR flashbacks from hell, I mean, they banned it. You're good. No! They're just bouncing. They're making a turning wheel. I don't want a turning wheel. Give us something for the remote server. Not that. Literally cannot be that. Can't be that. I think you need to play the tattoo with ice. Yeah, we need to have an ice with a face check so they can't just bounce Taka for fun. Because they no longer have a way to charge their stuff without interacting with us. And running into a teeny does cost 5 credits. The thing is, like, seeing 3 off of R&D, we will lose at some point. Oh, there goes our bite. But this does cost a credit. We're going to throw a card out here, I'm pretty sure. Pay 5? Cool. Yeah, it's a lot of ants. The whole ant wall. Could have put Mélies on HQ. Samak, Tattoo Bola, Bo2. So they knew the Tattoo Bola, so they actually see all but 1 card in hand. So that's good that we use some twinning counters here. But we are what I would say a sitting duck, and now this run is 2 credits, and they can still see 2 cards. And then seeing 2 cards means they can click for credits for the next 3 turns. Not unlikely we lose here. Especially because we don't have the magical bite credits. And they want to be aggressive when we don't have bite credits. Oh, they trashed Holloman, so they're down to their last 6 cards, which will be 5 cards in a moment. So we actually have a grinder game plan. If we can find with 2 bites, we win. The question is how easy is it to set up 2 bites? Once we get to bite credits, all we're going to do is get to 5 credits so we can do a teeny bite, and then we're going to just purge and see how the game falls apart. They did see 2 on R&D, and they trashed 1, so R&D will be fresh next turn. Ooh, Fermenter, that's good. Regolith. I mean, that's quite good. R&D's fresh. We only have 1 bite? Yeah, but we're going to bring it back with Mélies. Don't know why when I play Mélies and bins and agenda, I always find the play pattern a bit weird and kind of betrays what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a weird one. There's a lot of like skill expression on both sides of Mélies. Either your opponent forcing you to be in an awkward spot or you putting yourself in an awkward spot. I'm definitely not comfortable enough yet to know where I'm going to be putting the Mélies call. And it's really hard to tell, especially not in person, whether I'm calling it bad or our opponent is out calling us. It's a neat ability as much as like, I do think the sort of recursion like this is incredibly unhealthy. Or it feels unhealthy, more accurately. Because like our game plan being like, I'm going to get that bite back. It's like, just sucks. We're just literally like stuck on the floor punching up, hoping that their chin hits one of our fists. All right, they're thinking through. Any idea where playing 1x Bites canonically credit is a really big problem, Lamau? Oh, you see what they're doing? You see what they're doing to go out of the way to get rid of our grinder? Is they're making a fun run on archives for 6 credits. Like, that's what they're doing to get out of the way here. We're not gonna get bites. I'm okay paying a credit. But like, that's what they have to do to ungrind themselves. Yo, our kingdom for a Biawak. Legitimately, if we find a Biawak and they don't see it, we win the game. Like, a Biawak top deck that they don't see is game winning. Because I don't think they can break a Biawak twice. Well, the problem is they don't have to break it twice. If they let the end the run fire, they only have to break it once. But it's an expensive thing. Ugh. Yep, now they're going for it. We don't have bite. They can see 2 fresh cards. There's 3 agendas of 19. They just end the game on the spot. Actually, 4 agendas because there's the longevity as well, right? There it is. There's longevity. A good game. Oof. They had to work really hard to work around that. And if they just ran R&D, we would have seen the longevity and drawn into it. Yeah, I was really stuck there for a bit. Really stuck there for a minute. Thanks, you too. Oh, they're gone. Yeah, just is really cool. So what was coming up? So they would have seen Anoetic after that. We had the Cloud Eater coming up, which is also like a pretty good piece of ice into them because it's 6 strength twice. That would have been a really big blowout. The Toxin would have been okay, but the Komodo was like way too low to matter. But our deck only had 5 more agendas. Only 4 of them mattered. So we could survive for maybe a bit longer. That's why I think it's correct to cut 2 spins for second Biawak. Not do that at all. The spins are so important for sure. Komodo, you can't be serious, Lamau. Neat. I think we had a chance there. I think them sniffing out the second Regenesis after the first one went through, like, we probably have to remember that our opponent will be on edge when they do get caught out by that to be like, oh, that's clearly the play again. We could have left the Sisyphus in the remote server and then just like advanced it once more and said, you have to run through the sentry. They did have the Echelon that turn. But yeah, if your deck is all just about your ice being good, eventually they'll have Leech and Tungsten Tailor and all that sort of stuff. And like, I don't know. That's why you play ganked, right? That's why you play ganked over Holoman. No joke. One of those Holomans could have been a ganked and it would have been a lot better. We haven't fired a Holoman once today. That being said, you can do the Holoman Regenesis fast advance thing, but I would like probably trade the Holomans for ganked, as cursed as that is. Meteor, that's not too many ants. That's just enough ants. All right, let's play some runner. It's 10-10. Wow, that took a bit. What I wanted to play, so we have, I don't think there's any mega cities this last weekend. There's 2 coming up, so good luck if you're out there playing that. But in terms of results, it's mostly been like CTKs and stuff like that this last weekend. So nothing too big to look at. The only mega city so far has been the one in Czechia, if I'm not mistaken, which we talked a bit about the results before. I don't think there's that much news otherwise. Now, I did want to play some smooth, easy Netrunner, some fundamentals Netrunner, which I think is quite good. People are doing really well with like MuslihaT decks. And the one I actually want to play is not this one, but I want to play the 50 card version that Augie was playing. So I guess this is back from first at Pitt and Singapore and EMEA districts. This is a tiebreakers deck. So this is a MuslihaT list on 45 cards. And it's cool. It has a lot of hits, that's for sure. The breaker suite is actually playing Song Conchil and just saying like, hey, this is a good enough breaker. And it hits the 4 strength breakpoint pretty well. The 5 strength sentries that we're playing today, that's going to be a bit of an issue for sure. But it's a pretty good code gate breaker, especially when you have all these run events. We have 1 Revolver, 1 Echelon. So we're not playing Carmen. And I could see either way. We have 2 Kurapir and then 2 Chesva. Now the resource is like the long game economy. So we're still in 3 class acts, and the 50 card version of this is actually playing Concerto for the classic off the top of the deck, which is a really fun line. And then we have our value pieces like Mystic Miami and Fencer Fueno. I do want to say the twinning is annoying, that this seems to be the only way criminals can close games out because Awaken Plan is not super consistent. And I just wish the card pool was a bit wider, that criminal would have its own unique win condition. It currently doesn't feel like it does. Then the single touchstone, which I've been surprised that this is slipping into a lot of different lists. It is just a credit a turn card. It can be used at anything during runs. The stealth subtitle on this card just doesn't matter, but it's functionally just like Ashes all over again. And I'm surprised that there's an Ashes all over again card. At least this card, unlike Fencer Fueno and Mystic and Paladin, requires you to do something, which is play a run event, or sorry, play an event more accurately. And these credits, you basically just use them as soon as you can because there's no reason to hold on to these unless you're playing around like, I don't know, Crypto Crash or something like that. You just kind of use them whenever they show up. Events, a lot of events. 2 Tread Lightly, surprised by this. I'm not sure if this is in every list, but that's kind of cool. 2 Reprise, pretty good in the Glacier matchup, can just blow up some weird board states as well against like HB going horizontal. That's neat. We have Overclocks, which is a lot more money than you think it is, and that's kind of cool. The fact that you get your breakers down maybe consistently, I don't know. We do draw our breakers well with MuslihaT, and we have a mutual favor. I think I've seen lists that are on 2 mutual favors. This direct access, I believe people have been trading the slot in and out, whether it's a direct access or a shred or what else has there been? Biawak bans. Those are all very interesting things that are meta dependent. I don't know if I like direct access against Mélies. I don't think it's actually that important. This is much better against like Thule and Bangoon and what else do you want to play this against? Like Ayuko, it's not the worst. It's actually not bad against Ayuko. There's certain runs where it's actually really quite good. So it's up to you to make it make sense, but turning off your ID text box doesn't matter because your MuslihaT is already fired. Everything else is kind of what you expect, but there's a whole bunch of different flavors of this, so we'll see how they is. They just printed Rotary? Yeah, okay. Wenjiang siphon people over and over until they concede or time is called. Sorry. In the old days, what's a fun criminal win con? Siphon people over and over again until they concede. We used to have, so turning wheel was the proto twinning, and for a long time I used to call twinning turning wheel on an accident. The thing with the turning wheel was neutral 1 influence, so everyone had to spend influence on it, and this was a way slower and a way clumsier way, but it could force out games, which is good. So whenever a run on HQ or R&D ended, and it didn't have to be a successful run, you could put a power counter on this resource, and then you had to spend these power counters not during the breach step, but at paid ability speed during the run. So that means you can interact with this with things that can end the run at instant speed effects. But for every 2 counters you use, you see 1 additional card while running HQ and R&D. This was technically like your late game inevitability card, or for 2 credits as a virtual, you get it down on pretty easy tempo. And then because you're playing a run-based criminal that wants to run all the time, you just get these counters. But it also made the corp want to choose where their ice position went, right? So like one of the matchups in the meta is like Kakugo was this like horrible Jinteki ice that got banned out, which is just a 1 strength and the run. But when you pass it, you did net damage. Now, if you want to play attritional Jinteki, you put this on central servers because you have to make like a lot of runs on central servers to win the game. And that's a lot of net damage. But then the thing is that this was the outermost ice. If the criminal was set up, they would just spend 4 runs running to the Kakugo, ending the run. Functionally, Chaos Juggler just did that against us, where they ran into a Tattoo Bola just to pump with their tricks to Taka to get a twinning counter, like kind of the same idea. In terms of criminal win conditions, like that's the most I can think of. Legwork for a while saw consistent play in criminal lists. You kind of can do that modernly. That does work. There was a while where you played Stargate in criminal. I don't know if it was Keyhole, but I think it was a Stargate. I think there was the Andromeda decks that actually would like legitimately play Stargate against HB in the sort of like Estelle Moon era. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe it was Keyhole, but I do remember actually spending 2 MU on this in like a subsection of like competitive decks. Maybe that was me just doing my own weird thing. You also used to play like not as, but you could play Geist, and Geist could just see the top of the deck, so you had your own win condition built in. But all of these saw a fair bit more play. Wait, you don't like Turning Wheel 2.0? No, not really. Stargate Crim was fun, but there was no MU for it in the matchup now, yeah. Oh, Medium, yeah. You would play Medium too. You would just play like honest multi-axis. The thing was with Medium was like worth splashing in a lot of decks. There's a chance that we're at not a high amount of viruses, especially because Op is out. The problem is like if you want to play Conduit, it doesn't work anywhere nearly as nicely for a bunch of reasons. Firstly, it's more expensive, it's more influence, and it doesn't work with run events. And the one thing you're doing with Criminal is often playing run events, so it's not a good combo. But Medium was like super common in like criminal lists from core set onwards. Please, Energy, just give Criminal win con that doesn't suck. Yeah, I do kind of want a Criminal win condition that's not just the twinning. That is getting a bit boring. Hey, guy, how's it going? I saw Medium in a 419 list. If you want to replicate the turning wheel effect, just ban all recurring credit outlets that can be used outside a run, I guess. Yeah, those are not a problem. Like, Mantle's the one big one that you can do gross stuff. Like, I guess that's okay. Most of the time, twinning is used like in the honest way. I guess not entirely. Paladin Puemo is a thing, right? But I don't even know if that changes the card. It's an inevitability engine, which is good. It's just like, it's so boring that the multi-axis that like 2 out of the 3 factions play consistently is a card that basically tells you to play, you know, Euro board game 1 credit per turn Paladin Puemo forever and ever and ever and ever. It's literally been here for about 7 years. It's gross. Rotary's a win con. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. This card is really, really slow. It's expensive. It's a very important slot. I don't know. I don't care for this. Mind you, tag-based criminal, like tag criminal was also like a win condition, which we played other stuff, not this. Do Shapers wholesome? We play deep dive instead of twinning. Yeah, it's so much cooler. I like it a lot. Like a lose con. Reload jailbreak that shuffles back direct access style might be cool. Yeah, I could see that. I think at some point, like, I forget what the conversation was, but Trick Shot was meant to like shuffle back or something. I don't know what it is. But having a card like this is an on tempo that you could play multiple times in a game would be kind of okay. Jaichinya is a win con trust? No, you're not wrong. Like, that is worth shouting out. But like, I do think a lot of times when we're talking about the win con in this, you know, sort of case, we're not talking about the alternate win cons. We're talking about a way that like lines up with, you know, Netrunner fundamentals. This is like such a different game of Netrunner that I'm not really into it. I really want runner subliminal messaging for Topan, which is if the corp didn't do what? If you didn't run? Rotary is a card that should probably cost 2.5 credits. Install 3 is too expensive and 2 is undercosted. Yeah, and it shouldn't have allowed you to hang up. Maybe you can only hang up if they have 2 tags. Like, I don't know. It also should have been a hardware or give you 2 MU or give you 7 link. I don't know. Why is 2 undercosted crank? Take the tag to do anything. That shit should be 0 and fine. The problem is like this ability is so absurdly expensive if you don't just play it in, unfortunately, the most boring like Vic, right? Can you not search Vic? Virtual PI? Like, I don't want to spend a click and 2 credits. It's obviously way better in Vic, but then you're spending 4 credits to fire your first rotary and 2 clicks. At least you draw a card. Why do Crims need another win con? They already have the basic action card. By the way, how's it going, by the way, Sanjay? Anyways, that's what's cool about this. It gets card draw, and these sort of decks usually play a bit more multi-axis in, I guess this ones are not playing Jailbreak. I thought you play Jailbreak in every MuslihaT deck. Now, the one that I really wanted to try, so there's very small differences between these. It's like the one influence slot that's really changing. But the one that I really wanted to show off was the one that was text specifically for assets that Augie played. We're going to find it by just going to search, and we're going to search cards used. We're going to search concerto, and there will be one result. There you go. And so this is the 50 card version, which already sounds silly. It added another mutual favor, which, okay. It added 2 concertos. It has 1 fewer reprise, which makes me a bit sad. It has 2 boomerangs in it, which is kind of interesting. See that lines up. We have something else here. Are these decks not running Debbie? These decks are not running Debbie. I find that surprising. I'd assume a deck with this many run events would want Debbie. Debbie is like a really nice late game engine. And then this also has a single Azimuth, which, like, I guess we're really, really tech for assets, especially with Concerto, which is kind of cool. Oh, playing Jailbreak in a Melies meta seems like a bad idea. Yeah, maybe you want to tech it to the meta. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, you added a restream bot, Mac. That's never good. Augie and not playing the minimum deck size name a more iconic duo. Augie does really weird stuff, like very much shrugs basic ideas. And I think that's really cool. Hey, Leah, how's it going? Debbie is awkward with Song Conchal and MuslihaT's 50 billion run events. Yeah, but I think that's why this is in this list. It's like Debbie is really nice for assets, right? I like Debbie a lot for assets. Because the idea is that you play your run events when they matter, and you play a lot of run events, but then you always have this bank that you have like a click for 5 credit run button, and you can just trash an asset for free. That's probably why it shows up in the 50 card asset version of the list. But you're right. It's not a run event, so it doesn't work with all your run event stuff. It doesn't work with a whole bunch of things you're trying to do. But it's when it gets down, like it's good. It's just good. Just good money. Against assets, 100%. Against Glacier, a bit worse. Let's try the assets version first and see how this goes. Augie going full Scorched Earth tech for bad matchup, never forgetting the Demolisher wanted Continentals. Yeah. And I mean, that's fine. It's like Augie plays really, really well. So if there's a matchup that like you find to be difficult, you can afford to spend slots on just that matchup because your fundamentals are so strong on everything else that like I get it. Runner, I hope we find assets, he says, not knowing what the monkey's paw held. Synapse, okay. I'm assuming that's some amount of assets. We have a Concerto in hand, a Sure Gamble Class Act. Like, this is a good hand, and it has a Concerto, thanks you too. I have no idea how often we're expecting MuslihaT to fire. I'm assuming there's like a ratios problem where if you add cards to the MuslihaT deck, you can add other non-run event cards. But we probably are playing against Synapse assets, probably flood the market. I hope it's not Synapse Glacier. Cat does play flood the market. This hand seems sick. And Cat mulled. Let's go. Mull for drip. You might be right. Also, there's like an incentive to mull for cards that don't trigger MuslihaT's ability. We have 2 in our hand. Okay, let's see what MuslihaT does. Pinhole on the top, take it. Okay, so we can just Concerto one of these. I'm gonna Concerto server 2. The top of the deck is a fencer. Oh, we probably weren't meant to do this, and we were probably meant to wait till we know the top of the deck, but we just got 0 credits on the concerto. We did deck thinning, my friends. Deck thinning. At least we didn't clean get away the spin doctor. Sick. I mean, free draw, sure, but we had to draw the card. Plaza coming down before threat is so good for us. So we need to put a class act and go down to 4 credits, or we put a fence or fun to get a credit now. We have drawn this turn. No, you add it to hand. And what does this do? This also adds to hand, right? Yeah, so we can get our class act draw. We could get a small oppo here, but it's not that big of a deal. So we get 2 fencers. Okay, never mind. I could see us wanting to put fencer there instead of class act, but we'll see. If she just does like credit hedge fund oppo, I think we just clear tags. Nice. Okay, we can do whatever we want. Now, if Carpe Diem, nice. I just drew it, didn't consider it, but we probably do just draw it. We can play Carpe Diem. We can play Fencer Fueno. I don't know if we want to straight Bravado on 5 credits. It's not that bad. Like, I don't know what's going to hurt us. In theory, Fencer Fueno first makes sense because if we steal something, we get another credit, but like not a huge deal. I'm assuming a lot of this ice is like ping and VSA, and those are really annoying face checks, especially because clearing a tag, we want to do that sooner than later. So this might be a nothing turn where we just do like Fencer Fueno, Carpe Diem, install Kurapira, click for credit. No. This just eats the little stuff, what's it called? The pings. We didn't draw this turn, but the top of the R&D is fine. Or sorry, the top of our stack is unknown, so we're okay with that. If you know the top of the stack is not an event, or sorry, a program, sorry, an icebreaker or an event, you definitely want to be drawing. Bravado, sick. Wow. Show us a white space. Or a ping, nice. We can't trash much in here. We only have 2 credits with Fencer. It's Revanchelet, okay, it's good to know. We can remove the tag, see what happens. Revanchelet's quite good. We have a pinhole if we need it. There's an end pot here. Okay, so she is building horizontally, so it does make sense as a flood the market deck. This is only first time a turn, so we could just like Bravado HQ. There's probably agendas in there. This is a mulligan, and it looks like an ugly start. So I want a Bravado to see what's on HQ, and then we can like force in a transfer in the near future. She could res this Revanchelet. We technically have 3 credits. It's a fun house. Oh, that's annoying, but at least we just bounce, and that's like an 8 credit swing. I guess we class act draw here. We can run R&D for single. She can't res this anymore. I'm okay just seeing a card to learn about her deck a bit. Running R&D is not really important, but I feel like we're in a good spot. Rego. Yeah, I'll trash that. She could draw it and install it. This is an end pot, so it's not like it's going anywhere. I honestly don't think we trash this because she has nowhere to put it. Oh, I just paid 3. I didn't, sorry. I didn't want to trash that. Like, I'm okay if she draws it. It's really good for her, but like, she can draw that instead of anything else. Like, what are we worried about her drawing a planogram? I need money, but she can't put it here and do anything with it because we know it's an end pot. So I guess she could put it behind the ping, but also that doesn't do anything. Transferring into a funhouse is like totally possible. You could just take 3 tags. I wonder if we're going to regret that. It's a concerto. Okay. So, how do you ever beat a funhouse? Hey, Blue-Eyed, how's it going? How do you ever beat a funhouse? We have to take this thing down sooner than later. The end pot goes in here. We need to find our breaker for the end pot. Mutual Favor doesn't care where the run is, so we could go get a Song Conchil for the remote server, but we also have a pinhole threading. So if she installs the thing, reses and takes 3/6, she spent 2, so it's our turn for 4, and then we have to trash it. So maybe it was right to trash it. Fencer Fun will be full next turn. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we do reprise the funhouse. Okay, we can draw once. Boomerang transfer. Boomerang beats end pot, which at least that's something. Transferring into funhouse is difficult, let alone like when we remove a tag, she gets an install. We could set up the twinning. It feels a bit expensive, but getting pressure on is kind of nice. Because the Fencer Funnel will fire next turn. We can even force it this turn. Yeah, I think we should just force it this turn. She can't really oppo us. It's good to build this up so we can beat a grubber later. This charge is twinning. We'll just take a credit. If we ever whiff the top of the deck, then we'll use a concerto. Like, we want to see a class act on the top. So that's probably the Rego. That's fine. So Yeah. Yeah. That's sick. This is why you do this. So that we can boomerang the end pod and then just concerto it. So we got 4 credits and a free card draw. I guess we're just using those credits. We're not using the Fencer Funnel. This is not on the installed card, so it doesn't charge the twinning. But she's on 7 in 3 turns. That's like what you'd expect. It forced us to interact a wee bit. So I think now we can do a real filter draw. Oh, Touchstone's a 1 of. Obviously, we want that. I think we just take a credit, play around Oppo, because she could do a small Oppo here and it would be genuinely annoying. I feel like we're just playing Lost Con. We should probably put some more pressure on. Could have paid through the end pod instead of the boomer. Yeah, you're right. Because if she rezzed that we paid with that and used the Fencer Funnel, that would be better. Because now this thing is like, it's stranded, and that's probably not good. I think we'd rather put on this Funhouse. I think you're totally right. And that would force her to res it, but I don't think she would. I would have traded a Fencer Funnel for a twinning. I don't know if we're in a rush to, but yeah, I could see that. Top of the deck's a boomerang. Okay. So this could be a white space would be bad. It'd be okay if it is the light guy, the lantern man, the lamp lighter. I don't know what on the table if we don't run we're cooked against. But she does look like she'll flood the market deck, so we just want to stay in control. We could pinhole threading archives. We want to draw a Chesla for that. Debbie's good. We want to play an event a turn, which is not super easy. Ooh, I forget she has thread text. That's fun text. I think we just do like touchstone click for 2. I don't like our money here. Installing touchstone and not using it is probably straight wrong. Planogram, oh, she drew, so that's a spin doctrine server 5. We've drawn through a lot of her deck, but we have been actually like drawing instead of just like getting her free MuslihaT. We whiffed 2 MuslihaTs, I think, out of like turn 7. Yeah, this is now where like the metal hits the road. This is the one server we can run. Sure gambles on top of the deck. That stinks. We definitely not need to run to do Fencer Funnel, but we have other issues. So if we do draw, credit, sure gamble, we could run one of these. Being 1 credit short of the sure gamble off the top of the deck is painful. Why not 3 concertos? This is the one server where she knows we can run. We don't know what this is, but she's clearly trying to set up a flood the market. So all we have to do is like run and stuff. So I think we can run server 4, see what happens. We might get oppoed, but like, I don't know what run event we can possibly play here. We could like pinhole threading because it's technically like credit free. And then we could Fencer Funnel one of these. Whatever. We might not play the sure gamble for a bit. We have to draw though. We probably should have drawn because we could have got a clean getaway or something here. So Magistrate there, this is a let them dream. So she can score this out with a flip the market, but it's not that bad. We can pay 3 credits to steal it, and we can do it with Fencer Funnel. I think we'd do that. Sick, charges the twinning. That's a nice little interaction. Now we can do draw, credit, sure gamble, feel pretty good about it. Oh, overclock would have been okay there too. But this hits our touchstone too. That was nice. Yeah, Fencer's cool there. Fencer's Revanche, that's like doubly good. This is also like Biobands is really good. All right, so that end pot now has 2 subroutines, I think. This wasn't res, so it's not just like public access. Oh, fully op. Yeah, right, of course. So she has 11 credits. Let's see if we get oppoed here. At least it's a small oppo. So Revanche is probably the next thing we want to hunt down. I don't know. I think we just face check into this. Yeah, I think we do. Reprise off the top. Oh, that's so good if we find an agenda to blow open the funhouse into a transfer. So this is the one we know she knows we can run. We don't know what server 3 is. So we can run server 5 first, then run server 4. Yeah, threat 1. F2P, okay, so we'll pay 4. Because this bounces and gives a tag, we might as well. Oh, sorry. I can break those. I thought the fire would let me break. Yeah, sorry, I can break these. I thought it's when it fired, I'd be able to choose, but no, you can just break them with the text on the card. This actually might have been a pinhole target, I'll be honest. It made her spend money, which is good. Her hand has to be loaded. We'll see what this is. We know it's an end bot. Trashing this plays around one fully operational, but this is a bit rich for us right now. She could triple advance a 3-1 and a revanchelet. We lose 3 credits, so I guess we might as well trash it when we're here and then click for 2. Man, Debbie would have been good. Yeah, do you want to pay 3 now or later is the question, right? Like, no matter what's going to happen. So I think we just click for 2 and we throw something out here. We throw out the class act for sure. Okay. We didn't play an event this turn. We didn't draw that turn. So we lost a couple of our value angles, but we still have Carpe Diems, clean getaways, and I think one more Bravado. Let alone an overclock is good. And I can't tell what server 3 is. I'm worried it's a trap. If it was a Gaslight, I don't think you play Gaslight. Maybe you do in a fully op deck. It's just like kind of anti-synergistic. But the reprise into the transfer would be really good. And then at this point, she has to have agendas in HQ. We can swipe. Okay, that makes sense. So ping into FTP is annoying because you have to ping, clear the tag, come back. But I think if we just deal with server 3, like we're not worried. Oh, what are we worried about? Crypto here? Song Control on top. Nice. 3 could be a B1001. That tracks. Yeah. That is one of the few things it could be. So here she just triple advances. I don't know if it's actually that bad for us. We could do a reprise play. We can run HQ, pay 4, take a tag. She probably can't duck that much. But if it's a B1001 here, yeah, actually the funhouse is really good. So if she scores out, I think all we want is a Hermes, right? I think a Hermes here is pretty good. We have 2 Hermes. Our money, if this is a crypto crash, we're in a pretty ugly spot. If it's just to let them dream, we don't care. We can also just like run this and see what happens. If it's an NPAW, we don't care. If it's a ping, we break it for 1. Then we have to just like clear the tag. And then she's on 3 credits. So if she scores out, she's probably broke. But in theory, if we want to play around it being a crypto, we want to like duck our money. Crypto is like always gets me because losing money to crypto feels so obviously terrible. I'll draw. Okay. So at least we're at 9 plus this. We can sell Debbie to go down to 8. Crypto gets pretty bad. What's the worst R&D ice here? I'm not sure. It's probably not that much that could be that bad for us. We played an event. We have Touchstone. We have Fencer Funnel. We have Twinning. We have this. We can install this to go down to 6. If we get crypto, we lose it all. At this point, the mutual favor is only getting us a killer. We have 2 in our deck of 28. Hey, Lunari, how's it going? I guess we could just play Debbie at this point. Yeah, it seems fine. I don't think we're going to be able to wait the threat. Let's see if she scores out. Unless it's a crypto, we're in an okay spot. Like if it's a let them dream, we're like laughing. Oh, cool. So she can put up a fully op on top of the deck. So we probably do want to interact with server 3. We just want a good run event for that. Yeah, planogram's on top of the deck. Cool. Song Consoles, sure. So I think we want to draw once for a run event that we'll just run server 3 down. Mystic is definitely the play. So we don't have an easy event to play here. She's going to be on 5 next turn. Yeah, I think we just check this. Charge a Kurapira, so grubbers don't make sense. We might as well always use the touchstone, I think. Because we can't use it for oppos. Oh, wow. Wow. Did we win? So sorry. I epically lose the game. I did not think that's what that was. And then we're going to see a huge flood here. Let them dream. Next big thing. Funhouse. We don't win. It was over from turn 1. It did look bad. So she has a predictive on the top of her deck. We can run back and see 3 cards. Or we can just remove the tag. Oh, wait, we're not tagged. We're not tagged. We're not tagged. I saw this one blue and I thought we're tagged. Yeah, Fencer is probably leaving us. Retribution, paywall, funhouse. Okay, cool. I'll pay 1 for Bueno. That last run should have been a Debbie run, technically. All right, so she has the planogram. She can fix her hand. She can't really oppo us financially. Last run also could have been a transfer run, but I don't think she can repair HQ in a way that keeps us out. But the next big thing did its work. Card in server 5 is pretty good, but she has to duck transfer. Yeah, the last run in HQ definitely should have been a Debbie run, technically. Okay, so the HQ is going to be a VSA, or it's going to be a paywall, which doesn't make a lot of sense. This is just an F2P. Embedded's going to set up the top of the deck. And we know in hand she still has a predictive. Didn't use embedded, okay. Top deck is a revolver, nice. Okay. We could pinhole threading this just to see what it is. It fires all our stuff, which is good. I mean, that's good enough. I think this has to be a regolith, right? Tranquility, fantastic. Really good trash. Okay, so we can run HQ. If she reses, it has to be a paywall or a VSA. VSA, we can break. Oh, it's on console for 1. That's not the worst. Our money's not amazing. But we can just do Sun Console Debbie HQ. Top of R&D actually is not particularly safe. This is a bit iffy, because if this gives us a tag, like she can install a regolith last click, I guess. It's a paywall. I don't know the text on this one. When a runner encounters this ice, they lose a credit. When you can't barrier, you may bypass it for 3. So we actually can bypass it to save a credit. Bypassing the pop-up window is sick. I think we'll see too. Tranquility, we can trash that for all our money. I will. It's easier here than anywhere else. Retribution, of course. Okay, Mystic we can install. We're probably not going to get oppoed. We still have a lot of run events. Let's just go bottom ourselves out. If she does credit oppo, maybe we're in a bad spot. We actually should have used the touchstone, not the Debbie, but I don't think it matters. Actually, no, we should have used the Debbie before the touchstone. Yeah, bypass is right. I don't think they're running large barriers. Yeah, I don't think she is. Like at this point, if she has a grubber, she can't afford to res it. Maybe she's on a capacitor, but we'd be surprised. Hey, rookie. How's it going? So triple install, fully operational on top of the deck. So this is the turn that we bottomed out. Hermes on the top of our deck, which sucks. But it's the turn that we have to actually do things. We have 4 credits to interact with. We don't exactly want to draw the Hermes here, so we want to draw in a run event. Okay. And now we can start just checking these servers. So we can just Debbie server 6, we can Debbie server 3, and we just need to steal or trash things. In theory, we have 3 credits to trash with. We could technically play mutual favor just to gain a credit. It actually might have been right to play mutual favor just to shuffle the deck. But the fully op's on top, so we want to either force a shuffle or force these cards down. Yeah, we'll just touch things. We have touchstone fencer, so we have more money than it looks. Spin, okay, so the fully op's in hand. If she cracks that, that's 1 fewer server. So then we'll just deal with server 3. We should click for 1 credit, I think, because if it's a regolith, we'll be sad. Plaza. Oh, shit. Okay. So if we trash this, we take a tag, and she's on retribution, so she's going to get that. So at least that is, it's good for fully op, but otherwise it's just clicking for a credit in 2 turns. Sudden YDL public chat on the line. I mean, we got 4. Fully op, she's back. We tried our hardest. Server 5 didn't get rezzed. Could be an agenda. That's a safe spot for it. Okay. This now actually has 3 and the run subroutine, so we can force her to res it. It doesn't actually have a face check. Mutual favor on top sucks. So we could shuffle our deck with mutual favor, and it gives us a touchstone credit. Is that good? I don't think I mind doing that. It does shuffle the whole deck. So like the stuff that we bottomed comes up, but overclock twinning. Okay. So we can overclock one of these servers. We can overclock this. She probably doesn't res. Just transfer. Oh my God, you're right. We could have just transferred. She can duck a fair bit of it, but she can't duck all of it. So we want to overclock a server that she's not going to res the ice on. So I think we overclock server 5. That's probably the winning agenda. It seems it would be better just to draw on bottom of the mutual. I mean, so we spent a click to gain a credit because we didn't have an event in hand. I think it would be way better to transfer. It might have been better because shuffling the deck actually was a bit of a cost. All the cards that we bottomed weren't like particularly good cards. Let's just see what happens here. We get hit by sentries. She only has 6 credits, and this has to be an agenda, right? Looks like she's spending a lot of influence on Tranquility, which makes a lot of sense. It's a very good Synapse card. Synapse has fired no times. Okay, it is a sentry, so we have to clear that tag. We lost a transfer, okay. Oh, now we have to jack out, actually. That's a good server. Yeah, I'm going to jack. Yeah, because this actually does hurt. Wait, can we not clear the tag? Wait a second. Are we throwing? I missed the jack out window, technically. Are we planning to clear the tag? I don't know. I felt very good about myself for a minute. So we can run server 4. What's she going to do? Retribute a Kurapira? She still has a predictive in hand unless she shuffled it away. Ow. This one doesn't have a Biawak in it. 1 tag is not 2 tags. 2 tags is where things get problematic. Because then she can take our agendas out. Yeah, that was an overextension for sure. This had to be a card that gives us a tag. Like, this is likely to be a ping. Doom Scroll actually was even worse. So I think Flood the Market costs what? Send it R&D? It might be right. Flood the Market costs 3? Yeah. So she can credit Flood the Market and score out if we don't trash one of these. I think we just Debbie server 4. When we're 20 R&D before it gets trashed, I think if it gets trashed, we're still okay. If anything, we would probably like 28. No, we probably do just 20 R&D. I think you're right. But if this gives us a tag, she can actually get an agenda away. I don't want to do that. Predictive Flood also works, yeah. So she can't res this. Spin, okay, we'll chase it out. Yeah, this is an overextension. We're getting really punished. We were 1 credit under. We didn't trash anything, so we're safe to Oppo at least. But we have too much stuff to genuinely trash, so she's probably Retribution something. Like hits a Kurapira maybe. The thing is like the paywall doesn't actually work against not Kurapira. There's a planogram. Second Retribution, Sun Control, that's okay. We have none more, no more of those. But these cards didn't move. Top of the deck is a mutual favor, bummer. Okay, so we have to win, and the code gates will end the run outside of our last boomerang. So we don't know what this is. We don't know what this is. If this is an agenda, we just have to boomerang the F2P, or actually just let the F2P fire. So if we draw a pinhole and see what this is, we actually win the game, because this server doesn't actually work. I'm surprised to draw a mutual favor somehow. Guess no end to line. No, we definitely not end to line because we saw like Tranquilities. It's much more likely that it's on Tranquility fully operational, and then that's kind of it. We do kind of want to play around. In theory, this could be a B. We should clear the tag, let's be honest. 4 credits, so an F2P connects. Yeah, I think we don't do anything. I think we just do draw, credit, remove the tag. That's a good card for next turn. I guess Fencer Funo goes. Oh, we did a last click. We shouldn't have drawn first. Because now she can put something in here. Okay, hold on. We're falling apart. Regolith on the table. That's fine. Fencer Funo, you've done enough. Okay, so now Oppo is a problem, but we can hopefully win the game sooner than that matters. Again, this server, we can either believe in ourselves, which is actually pretty likely, or we can, what's it called? We can get a pinhole. We have 2 more pinholes and 20 cards. Yeah. So we can definitely just like clean getaway archives, see what happens. 2 spins are out. It's likely just to give us like the 4 credits we want. 5 credits. So we could draw. Okay, that's good. Okay, Funhouse. Makes sense. The one that we ruined. So we could run HQ. We could run this. She reses it. We have to break this for 3 and then trash this. We can Debbie it and touchstone it. Bringing down the Regolith also turns off her win condition, which is scoring a 4-2. But like with 3 Let Them Dreams out, she has to score out like Embedded, and she has to score out her what's it called as well? The Tomorrow's Headline. We can either overclock this and then she probably doesn't res, or we can just Debbie it. Can we get away HQ? We can. We definitely can. For a single. I don't know if we know anything about the hand. We still have transfers. Right? Yeah, we have 2 transfers. But we could just clean go away HQ. Carmen overclock server 5. There's no point. If we think it's the winning agenda, we just don't install our Carmen, we just run. Because like bouncing this doesn't matter. We just want to find a pinhole. Because we find a pinhole, we can just run this. So I think we just want to trash a Regolith so that she can't score this next turn with her advanced thing. Well, she could. She can install a card and then do her flood. So that's still fine. I'll still Debbie this if she reses it. It gets us our boomerang back in our deck, which is good. This does turn on Oppo though if we trash the Rego, which if she Oppos us for 7, which it'll be 6 with public access, I think we could just win the game, hopefully before. So we'll do 2 on Debbie, 1 on touchstone. Just click for credit, maybe? We can install a Hermes, but if she scores, Hermes is not doing that much. This could be also Revanchelit. That's the one thing we have to play around is Revanchelit or B1001. So checking server 6 before we all in on server 5 is important. Yeah, there. That's the play that she can do. So that was from hand. Cool. So she'll set up the top of R&D. There's a flood the mark on top of R&D. So we have to deal with the board. Carpe Diem in hand is fantastic. Wherever this brings us, I'm assuming it's a code gate on R&D. Yeah, okay, I'm in. This has to be an agenda because you would have res there if it's a Revanchelit. Oh, there she is. So we know where every Revanchelit is? Oh no, that one got shuffled back. Do we trash this? It's 1 less card in hand. If she drew the flood, she has an agenda in hand. So I think we can just continue to do this run over and over and over again. We also can just like boomerang the F2P. Yeah, I'll trash it. So she has a flood on top of deck, which means she has the setup. So we can just run server 6. We haven't seen a code gate yet. On 9 credits, I think we're soft to white space, because white space you have to have 10, right? White space is 6 or fewer. Yeah, so we have to click for credit if we want to play around white space. Revolver overclock server 5? I mean, okay. I'd rather just run it naturally. But yeah, it does stink like an agenda. Yeah, I'm in. It plays an event, which we want to do. Never mind, we already played an event. I don't like this play anymore. Don't break all of this. I auto hit. Like, this actually costs 4 to break the F2P. I don't know if this is actually that good. Wait, where did we get our money from? We didn't use overclock? What's going on? Why didn't it use overclock credits? I'll use 1 more overclock. Whatever. Ah, it's a B. You didn't spend for no reason. Ah, for no reason. I think we do trash this. I think that's right. Ah, we're financially ruined. So now she can score at a 3-2. You don't need to use bullets. I'm a monkey. I'm a monkey. I don't know why I shot that thing. I was trying to fix the first problem and then I caused 7 other problems somehow. There's no reason to break the F2P because we can break it for 4 credits. Thank you. Wow, counter P4. I didn't realize you did. Yeah, me neither. Okay, so she might have an Oppo here. The door is not closed on us. I was pretty sure that had to be an agenda. B1001 does make sense. Server 6 could be an agenda. She could install a 3-2 and then score it. That seems fine. We could Debbie HQ. We lose a credit and then we pay a Debbie credit. Transfer is still pretty good, but if a B1001 opens up here, we can no longer run next turn and then she can win. She needs to set up, though, flood the market into something. She has to have an agenda in hand. Ugly. Yeah, the one tag that we took that lost the twinning like was obviously game throwing. We can still win it, but like we should not have done that. There was no reason to do that. So it's the 3-2? Oh, just that 3-2, right. So it is in hand. Flood the markets on R&D. So either Chesva, stop it. So either this is an agenda at the top of there's an agenda in HQ. So I think we just run HQ 3 times. Let's just draw a transfer. Pretty sure we're at a pitch stack and have perfect info now. No, we shuffled. We shuffled. We shuffled with mutual. 2 agendas left. 3. Oh, hold on. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, there's 3 agendas left. Sorry. Yeah, there's one next big thing and one 3-2. One tomorrow's headline. So I'm assuming that tomorrow's headline has to be in hand. Or it's in server 6. It could be server 6. We could boomerang this and run it. The only thing that beats us is what's it called? Odds are still 90, yeah, but she pulled it, which scares me. We could always boomerang and run this last click, but end pot, actually, I think we're short credits. Yeah. Debbie runs, yeah, for sure. So we're going to break this just so that we can charge the Corpura. Paywall? We don't know the other card, do we? So we could run this. If it's an end pot, she pays 4. It ends the run. Worst case scenario, we could trash the public access to put her off the combo. So far, the only tag punishment we've seen is Retribution. She's played 2 of them and B1001. But if this is the last 3-2, we do lose, which is a pretty wild way to lose. It also could be the other 50-50 in hand. Should we pay with our credits so we don't have a credit on the run back? On the run back, we'll bypass it, if anything, right? And this gives us a credit so we can do other stuff. But on the second run back, we can always bypass this. You're right, though. Sometimes like keeping the money out Debbie's interesting. That might have not been wrong. We have 2 clicks left. We can go for a 50-50. R&D is locked. This is a 50-50. We don't know what this is. If we run this, we trash this for 1. Yeah, no good. We could draw a run event. A Carpe Diem would be good. That last click is not great. The math doesn't matter, but this gives us touchstone and everything else. Yeah, I think if she has it on the 50-50 we missed, then she has it on the 50-50 we missed. Or it could be this. She's not slamming. That seems good. So her hand is Paywall, a Flood. We have no idea what server 6 is. That has to be the card we missed. It's a Regolith. Okay. So that's the one card we missed. She has Flood, Paywalls her whole hand. Add a Kurapira. Okay, so if we transfer wealth, she can only install a Paywall, which seems fine, but then it turns on potentially a B1001. No matter what she draws, it goes into this server. If it's a next big thing, she can't score it. If it's literally the one last 3-2 in the deck, she can score it next turn. So I don't know if we care about that. Our deck still has 2 Chesvas. Sorry, 2 pinholes, which we could draw. The transfer seems pretty good, especially because we know she doesn't have anything that's worth installing. But we have to clear the tag if we want to deal with the server. Yeah, I'm just going to transfer. What could we draw into that would change the transfer math? Hermes is not worth anything anymore. A clean getaway might be better than a transfer. Because that run on R&D is not that good. Or sorry, on HQ is not that good. It's just like, what does the transfer do for us? The transfer gives us a credit here, a credit here. It gives us a big swing, but then we have to remove the tag. So it's a run that gives us a lot of money. How many floods do you think they slot? 3. We know that they're on 3 because the third one's in hand because they grabbed it with embedded. So they're probably on 3 flood, which I think you do. Well, we know that they are, that she is. We have a fully operational. She's probably on another fully operational. It's 3, 6, Tranquility 7, 8, 9, 10, Retribution 11, 12, another fully up 13, 14, 15. That kind of sounds right. The thing is, like, you have to play around IP enforcement and stuff like that. So you can't play 2 tags or shipment from the disappears. But we haven't seen an oppo yet. So it might just be B1001 in ice. Whatever this is, it's not worth running. Unless we trash one of these. But if we transfer again, we bypass this, which lets her have a grubber, I guess. We go up to 8, then we have to clear the tag. We go up to 9, 10. Yeah, that's fine. I guess we might as well draw first. Okay, so we can always pinhole server 5. Let's get our money first. Maybe install the Chezzo. I feel it's too late, but I'm pretty bad at spending a click and 2 on what's going to be credit neutral for a while. Especially because we have Debbie. Okay, so we know everything here. We can pinhole archives to check what server 5 is. If it's the agenda, we just win. The problem is, like, it's good enough to check it. We might as well check anything, yeah. I think we're allowed to float the tag here. But we could do Chezva pinhole. Actually, Chezva with, yeah, that's fine. No, this is not good. Oh, okay. We did some B. Because it's the 3-2 we lose anyways. We should have click left. So she's just going to install the paywall and remove our tag for us, which is honestly a fine outcome. Yeah, I didn't like installing the Chezva, actually. I probably shouldn't have. Because if it was the agenda, we just lose. So now we know her hand is flood unknown. R&D's paywall into assumedly code gate. Okay, so hand is just flood. I think she either empties regolith or draws second click, which is going to be a bit awkward. Yeah, empties regolith. Okay, so if she top decks the 3-2, she can install flood. So there's one agenda and 12 cards that she can get. Overclock is good. Okay, so I think we just have to boomerang the innermost on R&D and overclock and see a 1 card and hope that's good enough. It buys us a bit of time. In theory, we have to play around ping, because if this is a ping, we can't straight boomerang it. I'm not gonna play around public access because sorry, not public access. No installable in hand. Do you ever trash public access? Excuse me. I thought you were gonna say public trail. Yeah, I could see us trashing public access. At this point, though, there's only one more 3-2, and we'd have to trash 2 cards to turn off the 3-2 fast advance. So that's a lot harder. B1001 is actually really good here. Because if there's a ping, we can't deal, we lose the boomerang. And then if it's an end the run code gate, we're in a bad spot. You can always pay through FTP, but sorry, not FTP, through NPOT, but it costs 9, I think, on threat. But the whole game is R&D here. Overclock B101 to trash something else? Yeah, maybe. We overclock the B1001. We pay 2 for this, 4 for this. We're actually paying out of pocket for that. Well, we have money. The thing is, like, the overclock is a bit better than the Debbie. Yeah, I think taking the B1001 down is good. And then we probably just take down the regolith, honestly. No, we probably do take down the Plaza. Let's draw for the last head. Sure gamble? No, we played 3 sure gambles. What more economy do we have? We have 12 cards left in the deck. We have 1 getaway would be sick. 1 Carpe Diem would be sick. 1 Bravado would be really sick. Bravado on the remote server would be really good. So unknown paywall. Carpe is just a bit better, I think. All right, we're going to do it right this time. Match 2. You throw the gun out immediately. Done. Yeah, we have enough money. FTP will just pay. It might have been better to do Carpe Diem and then just Debbie this, honestly. What do they do if they can't flood FA? I'm not 100% sure. But now we Debbie Public Access Plaza and then, like, just clear the tag, I guess. I'm just worried that we're going to run out of money. Like the next Fueno is actually kind of okay. Imagine if you kept Fencer Fueno here. Yeah, it might have been okay. We did bottom out. This Cheswa was a bad install, I think. And we have Carpe to bounce back. They have nothing to install. Yeah, she has nothing, excuse me. So unknown. I think she just keeps putting things behind the F2P server though. Like at some point we run out of money. Yeah. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Okay, no jam. So the 5-3 is dead. So we can just probably, that's really good. Shit, that's good. So at this point, we might just like play Suffocation Runner because we have no multi-axis. We can get lucky, but again, code gates, we have to use our boomerang perfectly. We have no way to see more cards. I think we just clean getaway archives here while we can. Or we probably should just Carpe Diem because it doesn't care about the run. Run HQ. With 6? It's a 50-50, which feels bad. Could she res anything that's really annoying for us? Yeah, I'll run. Like if it's an end pot, we bounce. That's fine. This is a free run. She's gonna res this anyways, though. So now the Ches was worth something. 50-50? Ping. Okay, so we know the whole hand. So we remove the tag, she can install a ping. And we just need to make sure we keep our credits up. I think we still have to remove the tag every turn. Yeah, 1 event per turn click for credits is exactly where we're going to be. All right, so it's ping, which sucks because we have to like get ping to F2P. But the F2P doesn't matter. One of the best cards we could draw here is actually the pinhole, so we know. Yeah, this like to let them dream is cursed. Like how many turns of this game did these let them dreams end? We have 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 9 points in our score area. We haven't won yet. You want to try not to think about it. We want to draw because we're not going to need Hermes. Yeah, pinhole's perfect. Yeah, if she installs something, we can just pinhole it. So the Doom Scroll doesn't end the run. This is a ping, which doesn't end the run. The question is whether this is an end pot or not. We could always boomerang pay 3. So she has unknown, flood. There's 2 agendas and 11 cards. So much of this is because we just floated 1 tag. Like, Let Them Dream didn't cause that tag math. Yeah, it's a mixture of both, huh? Fully operational. Okay, so that's what she top decks. So she has 2 unknowns. Think you only have pinhole on a server 5 install? Yeah, 100%. We only pinhole when we need a not check. We just pinhole to see if it's an agenda. So she has 4 unknown cards in her hand. Cool. So I think we have the math here to check. That's really good because we can bravado server 3. So I think we just start by pinholing archives. And we just check what's in server 3. It's the next big thing. Okay. So I don't think she can score that next turn. This has to be a B1001, which means if we clean getaway it, we break for touchstone, we get 6 credits, we trash the B1001, and then we can probably run this remote server. But this has to be a B. My mind is kind of mush here, but I think this is what we do. Yeah, it's 1105. My mind is kind of mush. I'm not going to use these counters because there's a chance there's a grubber. There's 1 unknown card. And we know there's at least a barrier here, so we can save the credit there. Magistrate Revanchula. Okay, we might as well pay here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now she can't do anything in this remote server. This is ping, doesn't do anything, unknown. So we can always just put a boomerang on this and run. We break the ping for free. We boomerang every ice unless it's a 3 end the run subroutine, which end pot, I think we pay 3 credits to break end pot. And then we just let everything fire. That should be game. And we miss. Is it 2 Doom Scrolls? Are we cooked? No, I think we have enough money. We just break one of them if we have to. We're not going to bravado this. Remember to Debbie run? Oh my God, you're so smart. Yeah, she said GG, so this feels like BM. Yeah, you do hit the Debbie button. It is a skill. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And this is the thing, Synapse actually gave us this information. Like, obviously she got a lot on install costs. In theory, we should just break this for 1, because if it's a grubber, we definitely want the bypass on that. Like, saving 1 credit here doesn't matter, but if this is a big barrier, we do want to save it. I guess if it's a grubber, we boomerang it anyway, so this is kind of technically wrong. So she didn't res. We'll just... Close game? It's going to sound like BM, but she needs a lot of work to finish the game out. It looks like she drew the 5-3 before the 3-2. And so she has to double advance it and then still have money. So it's going to take her a couple turns, and then we know it's the agenda. So it's like, it's definitely, we can just let this fire. It's she has a really ugly late game because we stole all the 4-2s. But we had to be very scrappy to get there. But like, her end game is not easy to navigate. If we just click for credits, play an event every turn. Yeah, for sure. I was a credit of that tag. It was a really bad play. And then fell so far behind. Yeah, I did not realize we didn't have the credit to clear the tag, and then absolutely the game spun around. NBA not being able to end the run is almost on full display here. Well, that was admittedly her choice. Like, there is good NBN ice, like Messna Chespo, Grubber. The thing is, like, she's playing a, you know, a horizontal deck, so she's much more likely to play stuff like this. And also she didn't have that much money, but this was an end pot, which would have been really good. We don't know what this is. Oh, for sure. Cogate on R&D. The fact that, like, the paywall, and I don't like this card, but the fact that the paywall means that she couldn't shoot our Croupier was really good. Yeah, 2 end pots on a white space. Yeah. So this is a doom scroll, not surprising. End pot on R&D cost us 9 to get through. Like, it's good. We knew this was a paywall. I think we guessed most everything, and we actually did. Yeah, we boomeranged the white space, which is exactly what we need to do, or just have more money. It's funny how she has retribution, but we like legitimately have ways to deal with all her code gates that don't require a breaker, as much as they're very expensive. Thanks for the game. I know, Emian has not bad ice, like really legitimately not bad ice. Messney is a sick ice. Endpod's not bad. Yeah, you too. We don't often win against Cat. Cat always gets us good. All right, the concertos were really fun. We did technically have the acid tech version of the deck, but let's play the one that's smaller. You saw how good Debbie was. Debbie actually was like really quite important in that matchup. As much as like remembering to fire Debbie would have been also equally important. We had 5 more cards in our deck. We didn't care about the Azimut. The concertos were fine, like fine to, I wouldn't say good, but fine. Like they just replaced themselves and they drew through our deck. I do think the second concerto we played, we could have had a better line. The boomerangs are okay. That's another thing this deck has. I do think we actually would have appreciated a second reprise, because just like reprising up the board state is a very good counter to fully operational decks where you just like get rid of their ice. But it feels smooth. Like it feels like we have relatively narrow margins because we're never like sitting in credits, but because you're drawing 1 card a turn, it feels like you're just keeping up. And every time you draw an event, it's like plus, 6 credits and then all this value. And of course we should have had the twinning. We had 6 credits bravado in hand, plenty of money. Yeah, we just didn't have the clicks to do it. Actually, no, we did because I don't think she could score on next turn. Ooh, good. Epiphany. We probably have the acid tech. Elmindrade. Hey, thanks. Thanks, you too. Have fun. All right, opening hand. We don't have any of our drips, but we have really good econ start. Bravado might be hard to play because Epiphany doesn't run that much ice. We're going to deal with a Revanchulets. I actually think we're going to mulligan this because the only card in our hand we really want is Clean Getaway here. It got so much worse. Probably should have not done that, but I wanted to draw into any of our 1 credit econ turn cards. Like we have Azima, we have Fencer Fueno, we have Mystic. Unfortunately, we have a Carpe Diem and an Overclock, which that's not awful. Having 3 breakers is okay. Like Epiphany does force you to have breakers out, but we could have done better than that. All right, so I don't think there's anything we have to trash on turn 1. Oh, that's annoying. So we can't just let this go, and in theory, we don't have to play the Croupier until we draw something. She kept her hand. So we need to just make sure we're always making money. That's a good start for next turn, I reckon. We don't want to overclock until there's something rezzed. But like, we're playing around a 3 trash cost and 2 trash cost of Federal Fundraiser and whatever the other one's called. Now this hand is not good. It's not good. Sun Concha is really important for VSA, Croupier for the other one, for ping. I mean, we could just Carpe Diem here and touch a card, especially because Mystic is down. Yeah, we'll see R&D. We don't want to steal a trash because 1 steal of trash is bad. I mean, we want to steal. That's a really good steal. So she's probably on 10 4-2s, sometimes 3-2s, and this could be the Vlad Grid version or it could be Holloman version. Really nice that we got the Mystic there. I think we could draw and throw out the Croupier, no problem. Okay. Boomerang's nice, but a lot of times they have ice that actually punishes you. So this is what we're going to overclock next turn, I think. Overclock is 5 credits. We're wasting a bit of it, but like balanced coverages, they really work well together. So we'll see if she whiffs the first call. The second call matters. So it's not an asset, and then she's going to reveal an ice. So she's only getting 2 credits, and we have a Starlit Knight, which is very good that we can boomerang that. That's one of the worst face checks. Transfer clean class seems like above average hand. Yeah, it was not bad, but like if we transfer this turn, she just ducks. I just really wanted to draw an Azamet or a Fencer. But we went from a 70% hand down to a 30% hand. We thought we could get above 70. Wage workers, don't mind that res on this turn. And here we want to clean up multiple cards. Okay, so one of these is the Starlet, which costs 5. The other one is a ping or a white space or last click Epiphany. I guess you have to with wage, right? This is also not a federal fundraising, so server 3 is either a Revanchelet or I don't know what else it would be. A B, I guess. And so that was the second card on R&D. Okay, 3 credits. Hermes is on top. Hermes is not bad. So we need to bring the balances down. Unlikely she has an oppo. She knows the next 2 cards in R&D. She iced R&D sooner than HQ against criminal, which is not something you commonly do, especially because Epiphany knows the top of R&D. Also could be a spin doctor, I reckon. So I guess we draw once to break the thing that we have to break. We could, in theory, overclock one of these. It doesn't feel amazing. I'm not sure if you're meant to do that, because we basically spend 1 to save 2. It could be a couple things. Sometimes you also keep your spin doctor safe when you want to break the top of the lock. But we do want to trash these because if she doesn't have money, she doesn't have money. So we could just do like run. I guess we do overclock one of these because we're going to just like waste it otherwise. But like overclocking the wage workers is already a bit better. This is the second highest trash cost. And she also could have the thing you have to advance for the Disbrisk City Grid. So we'll trash. And then we want to trash multiple things a turn. So we'll get rid of her money. That's what she needs to oppo us. And I think we just click for 1. Hope we draw a better card. She could have a 4-2 on the table that she scores with wage workers, I guess. If it's a crypto, it's bad. If it's a stoke, it's not that bad. Federal might have wanted to check 1 more card that turn because we already trashed 2. I could see us also trashing, yeah, maybe checking to trash 3. That might have been better because we already want to trash more than 1 card a turn. This would have been really good to take down this turn. Getting another Epiphany counter sucks. I'm in the camp that they should change the names of federal fundraising and balance coverage. They should swap them. Why does the fundraising card not give money? Why does the coverage card not control the top of the deck? What a terrible errata NSG could do. Good old April Fool's joke. Just swap the card names. Okay, spin. So we're looking at the 3 install wage. Second. Third, ice on HQ. And then we're going to top rope it. Draft for Fencer seems pretty important. For Fencer or Azamet, yeah. But it's like 3 and 41. It's just like, what are we throwing out from our hand? You'd also have to swap the art. I mean, the art can stay. We've already swapped the titles. Epiphany for the first card. Okay. Bravado. Okay, so one of these can't be rezzed. We basically have to figure out which card is the Starlit Knight. Because the Starlit Knight can't be rezzed, and then we get a Bravado, which is like plus 6 credits. Federal fundraising doesn't give you money because you're not funding yourself. You're sponsoring a government fundraiser. I hear you, but it does raise funds. No way Starlit isn't on R&D. That's what my read is. I think they put Starlit on R&D. I don't think they put the Starlit in front of the wage workers. So I'm just going to Bravado R&D. They know R&D so they can shuffle with the spin doctor. I don't want to spend a click running the spin doctor. I don't think they'll shuffle it. So I think we're just going to go for this and say that this is the Starlit. Because I don't think they put the Starlit in front of the wage workers. I think they put it here. Hey, Conrad, funds are involved. Just swap them. Magistrate sick. Okay, so that's what we kind of called that there. So they do know the top of the deck. They knew this card. Why did they register Magistrate? Weird. So we know they have a VSA coming up and we're on 11 credits. The VSA is not a bad res. We can now trash wage workers, federal fundraising, and then charge one of these. I mean, we got the money to do it. Fundraising is the most important card. Wage workers is actually pretty important. But on 1 credit, I don't think there's any ice they're going to play. They're not playing that paywall. It'd be nice to trash the spin doctor first. Actually, contesting Spin Doctor is like relatively important in this matchup. I'm just gonna check a random card. Federal Fundraising would be the best hit. Now we can get oppoed, but like at least it's small oppo and they don't have money. Good to catch you live, y'all. Been a while since I've been able to join. Click for 3. Nice. Okay, so now we've stabilized. Clean getaway is so sick. This is a 4 credit turn. Okay, so we definitely want to find Fencer Azimuth. So we draw once here. We can do clean getaway Hermes, I guess. She probably has agendas in hand. We know she's a VSA in hand. That's all we have to know. We have to bring that magistrate sooner than later. Okay, we'll throw her out a boomerang, I think. So actually, we probably don't trash this. Oh, that's good. Forcing the shuffle is really nice because allowing them to control the top of the deck is like a very valuable thing. So then we just clean get away the magistrate. We probably don't actually. We can't clean get away this because if it's an agenda, it's really, really bad. Or sorry, if it's a spin doctor, we like lose the game. So like trashing one thing a turn is pretty bad. We might actually just clean get away archives, which I don't feel good about. We also do want to like how you generally play against this matchup is you want to just manage the board until you get to threat. But once you get a threat and they can give oppo, 4, like you just have to only trash when it really, really matters and or win off centrals. This is not a great Hermes, but with 1 ice on most servers, it's not bad. When I buy Girl Scouts cookies, I'm raising funds, but not for me. Yeah, but the corporation is the Girl Scouts in this example. Clean archives might have taken out a spin. I don't think there was any face downs in archives. Yeah, they were all face up. So it shouldn't have. Epiphany, looking at top 3. I think one of these might have been known. Very importantly, if the Epiphany also with AUCO, make sure you don't shuffle the top because the ordinal matters. They have Stoke Holloman? Oh, fuck. They have the combo. This is so cheap. Now, luckily, this will open up HQ and we'll draw a transfer, right? But this is the one thing that's so shocking how few credits that this costs. Oh, and they even have a click to repair. Oh my God, max punish and the magistrate. It's absurd. And I don't know if they saw that card. We could bounce this, which has an advancement. We know this to be the, I think I have to bounce HQ and they can reinstall it. Oh, that's so bad. We should have just dealt with this. But yeah, Holloman is so goofy with Stoke the Embers. It's so cheap. And I don't know if they just saw it or whether they had it, but I think they only knew the top card of R&D. This is why I trash Magistrate on site. Yeah, with Epiphany, it's a bit more texture to it. But we definitely need to draw an econ card. Not that one. So we have to trash Holloman. Love Epiphany, but I never ever see the Stokes off my Epiphany draw. Yeah, that actually was, no, those are totally unknown because that was a Spin Doctor shuffle. So we're just going to trash this and click. Oh, no, we have to draw once. Yeah. Okay, so they're on the Holloman version, so probably like the Worlds deck. I think it was on Wage Workers, which if it's a Worlds deck, it's only on 2 Holloman. Ignore Holloman, he can't score anymore. You'd be surprised. If they ice it up, it's a problem, but I think to score on top of a, like what's the math? If the Holloman is rezzed, what do you need to score on top of it? Firstly, you don't have a counter, so that's important. But if they ice it up, then it's a problem. They're definitely not in post, truth. But if you install it, it's like if you have the counter and you install it, it's so cheap. Yeah, you're right. They had no Epiphany counter, but if they just ice it up or move it behind ice, like then we have a problem we can't deal with immediately. So getting it while we can is probably pretty good. Okay, so no Epiphany counter. Reprise. Okay. It's just like we don't have a minute to put down our breakers. I feel poor. Man, our opening mulligan was so good. That ain't it. The thing is, like, Boomerang, it's not even that good. It beats VSA poorly. It beats Ping kind of poorly. There's only 1 sentry in the deck and it's here, so the revolver's not even that important. They could just score 3-2 off the table. There's 1 3-2 in the deck. So like trashing Magistrate's like kind of relevant, but like we can't afford to do it. Like we got nothing going on. Twinning is really important. Wake and plan is also really important because a lot of times with federal fundraising, they'll see like an agenda and they'll put it 2 cards down, and being able to see 2 on like tap is really good. I mean, this is the only run event we can play, but like only can play is like doing a lot of heavy lifting. Okay, it's a balance. They ice it up. Let's see if they whiff. They'll give us some information. If they don't, we had 3 pinholes too, so like the ice stuff can't be that hard. Oh, they knew the card, right? So they said Oppo research, so we know they have an Oppo. We're still both off of threat, but like I see us, unless we draw like a sure gamble here, we're in a really bad spot. Boomerang transfer is reasonable. Click for 3, okay. So they know the next card in R&D, but they have no Epiphany counters, and this is not doing anything. So it could be Hollowman, could be another Magistrate. Now we have a Mystic Miami that's angry at us. If it discards the Kurapira from hand, that's it. Draw, find an event. Nailed it. Okay, good. Not even close. You had to draw very quickly to get to the sure gamble. Okay. Balance is going again. This one should be unknown. They're calling Asset. Powers, okay. Powers bringing back Magistrate's messed up, so you have to trash Powers on site. This deck is running so much Asset Tech, and we found literally nothing. We have Debbie. We have 2 Fuenos. We have an Azimuth. We have 2 Concertos. Please. All right, one of these is the Powers. I mean, sure. Okay. This seems like a trash 3 turn. The thing is, they'll have a counter and they'll be able to stoke again. And when they stoke again, they still have a click left for Hermes. We have too many cards in hand and no like true run events, but we can do sure gamble. We don't really have an incentive to do pinhole threading, but we could. We'll keep it for when something important gets iced up. This is an important card right now. Like this is looking like a Hollowman, so we could pinhole threading it. Do you think there's an agenda on the table? I don't think there is. One of these is the Powers. So we trash Powers, we trash something else, we trash Magistrate, we get oppoed. Install twinning first. We don't really need to. Like we have the financial issue where we're gonna spend 9 credits trashing stuff this turn. Like this. That like putting on the twinning for 3 as a brick is really expensive. Could Chancel pinhole so it pays for itself? Yeah, but we don't really know what we're hitting. I don't respect this card. Server 9 could be a 4-2 and it reads like a 4-2. So then this is a Powers and then Magistrate is Magistrate. Like, we're just going to get oppoed here. Yeah, this is cooked. This can't be it. Okay, 1, 2. For oppoed, we don't really need twinning. Oh my god, we discard 4 cards? Who got into this situation? Okay, it's a spin doctor, so it's not an agenda. She has an oppo. These are unknown cards. She declined, so she didn't draw an asset. Throw Boomerang? It might be right, but Boomerang is so much cheaper than installing a breaker and using a breaker. You're right, it gets punished by a lot of stuff, but it also means we can get through R&D. The thing is that anytime you throw Boomerang, Meteor comes back, and then it's still in your hand, right? Probably shouldn't have taken the MuslihaT draw that turn. I think there's no turn that you shouldn't take the MuslihaT draw. Because even if you discard a MuslihaT card, the card that you drew, you're getting deeper through your deck anyways. To install Oppo? No Oppo, sick. Like at the end of the day, all we want to do is find our Azimuth and Fencer Fueno. I will always take the MuslihaT draw. That was card 1. Let's go! Concerto hit a Bravado, sick. B, full free. We want a Bravado something. This is the worst face check. If it's a ping or VSA, it's bad. But what about if we also got 4 credits at the same time? We don't have to play it this turn. What are we chasing down here? I don't know. We just trashed one thing, so now we want to trash everything. I think they have money. The thing is, this is now guaranteed 4 credits a turn. This like can't be it. We have so much asset tech. How have we not found an Azimuth? It would make this so much easier. Or a Fencer. Like, we've already trashed something, so we've already turned on Oppo. But having 3 credits means we can clear Oppo. We could Bravado. They have to have points in HQ at this point. The thing is, like, if it's a ping, we have to clear the tag. So we gain 4, and then we lose a click and 2. So we basically gain a credit. And then it turns off Hermes. This card is tricky to play. Like, what do we do? Song Control is important. It's one of the few breakers that breaks VSA without boosting, which is quite nice. So like we break VSAs for 1 instead of very, very bad. So I could see us installing Sun Control and just clicking for 2 credits, but then we like really have to draw liquidity. I'd be so surprised if they don't do a small oppo. Well, I'll risk it. Oh, 1 credit, excuse me. I mean, small oppo is going to connect. Warm reception, right. So that's bad because now you de-res the spin doctor. Oh, I want to get off of Mr. Bones Wild Ride. There's definitely some turns where we don't have to do anything. When they have an Epiphany counter, we do have to do stuff. But when she doesn't have an Epiphany counter, we don't have to do that much. But now every turn she's drawing so many cards. Because like this is like plus, 4 cards every turn cycle. So this has to go down, which means we have to run. This game is me when I play against Epiphany, just constantly trying to keep some credits to trash the next 2 installed cards. Yeah, I think we're like overextending a bit. We've also thrown out like our central's win condition, so we can't put pressure on. But like a lot of the cards that we're actually running into, we don't have to trash. The only ones that we really have to trash are Federal, I think. The problem with the balance is like eventually they get away with you, and then we get the oppo here. So we have to draw a really cheap econ card. Okay. So we can overclock or bravado this just to get the credits. We probably end up with 1 more tag, but we also do end up getting like a lot of credits. The best case scenario is that it's a Kogate. I'll just do it. We should be maybe a bit more aggressive with Hermes because actually converting HQ. We probably should run HQ. Sorry. We probably should just run HQ here. Because Hermes actually can like do something. Now a B clears our tag, so be it. But like, yeah, there's a chance that there's an agenda here and then Hermes actually solves multiple issues at once. Okay, it's a ping. So we have 3 tags. We have to technically clear 2 tags. I don't think the deck runs single tag punishment, but I could be wrong. We also could just say F it and do Kurapira run HQ. There's 3 cards in hand. We will have not enough money to deal with Magistrate Revanchulate. We've dealt with the powers. Yeah, what's up? Rerun? Wonder what that's about. That's scary. Bigger picture shipment? Oh yeah, bigger picture for sure. Okay, prototype, cool. Oh, I forgot we have to deal with the spin doctor. I mean, bigger picture is bad, but we could concede the game. Maybe Sun Control was worse than Kurapira. So now we have to take this down or otherwise they bounce our stuff. Is an R&D a good run for Bravado? No, we know what this ice is. This is the thing that's going to give us 2 more tags. It's a Starlit Knight. How's it going, by the way, MJC? We have to trash this, which gives another counter. Looks like R&D looks better when we're on 0 credits. We knew it's a Starlit Knight, right? And they also know the top of R&D. No, they don't actually. No, they do. So they also know how safe it is with a spin doctor. So like running R&D when they know the top of the deck is like usually pretty bad. Because they have full control. They can either shuffle with spin doctor or draw it. And it's also a Starlit Knight. Right? Yeah, it was known. Or at least like hard called. It technically could be a Starlit Knight on one of these remotes, but we're pretty sure it's that. Okay, so we can clear 2 tags. At least bigger picture doesn't get us. This sucks. Don't feel like we're the acid version of this list. They can get prototype to 5 this turn if they really try hard, and bouncing the Mystic is going to be punishing. So they still need to score 3 agendas, so like the game is relatively long. They could oppo us 1 more time here, which would really seal the deal, and then we have to basically play full tagged, which is very difficult. A lot of their ice doesn't do anything the Starlit Knight does, but the Starlit Knight... Oh, freedom of information. Sick. So we know that's in hand. So are they doing something with Holloman on the table? They usually have 2 freedom of informations if this is like similar to the world's list. So that is a punishment of floating tags infinitely. I think it's 2 freedoms, 1 bigger picture, 1 shipment from Vladisibirsk, and then B1001s. Oh, wage workers, okay. So they can do the working prototype thing, make us whiff our MuslihaT draw, lose our Missing Miami. Like, it's just upsetting. They're Epiphanying for the top rope? Interesting. That means they won't Wage Workers this turn. Why did they Epiphany? Because that doesn't count as an install. It counts as an Epiphany. Why did they res Wage? Just to res the prototype? That was card 3, so 1 and 2. Then they draw. Why did they res the Wage? Just for the prototype, huh? But we have to deal with the prototype or we're cooked. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Magistrate, and now they bounce something. We're not going to get our MuslihaT draw at this turn, I don't think. So yeah, we overextended. We should have just set up our economy. And there's a couple turns where we should just click for credits. These things on the table just like made us feel pressured. When ultimately there's not that many things that pressure you. Like at this point without an Epiphany counter, there's nothing they can really do. So we don't have to deal with anything on the table. We want to draw once for obvious reasons, but we probably have to clear the tag. But yeah, at this point, if we never steal or trash, they just don't get Epiphany counters. How do we win the game? I don't know, but we also did open up the HQ to not getting bounced. So we could do remove tag, draw. Oh, right, filter draw, but we wanted the Mystic anyways, I'm pretty sure. Huh. We break this for 2. I think Starlight Knight has 2 strength. The Boomerang is cheaper than the Kurapirus, sort of. We bottomed a Pinhole. Pinhole's not bad, but we don't really need it on this board state. I'm just going to throw out the Pinhole. This is where we concede? Yeah, it could be right. The problem is like it's 11:34. We don't have time for another game, so we might as well play this one out. But yeah, this is like... It's up to them to close the game fast, and her last turn did not look like she was closing the game fast. We know she has an agenda in hand. She also has a public access plaza. So like the question is how confident she is jamming. Yeah, and we're like in such a bad spot because like to be able to steal the agenda, we have to deal with Magistrate Revanchelet, but we don't deal with Magistrate Revanchelet, and she scores. Like we're down 3 credits, so we can't click for 3 credits on this board state. We probably should just concede. Wait a second. Yeah. This doesn't do anything, does it? She could have a 50-50 of a freedom in hand. If we do credit, boomerang transfer, that's like just not good enough. Yeah, it's just not good enough. And if we click for 3, it's not good enough because she definitely can score off the table on 16 credits. And a Wage Worker. So there has to be an agenda on the table. Now it could be behind here, but if this is a VSA or a ping, like we have to deal with the B1001, let alone we have to get 3 credits first. So that's the issue. It's like the only thing we can do on this turn is credit, but when we're in Revanchelet headlock, we can't legally do that. So we can do credit, trash Revanchelet, but hope there's not another Revanchelet or a powers that be. In terms of ones that we don't know of, there's 1 powers that be in the bin, 1 Magistrate in the bin. So, and then that gives the counter. So like we're in a very, very bad headlock here. You don't want to go down to 0 credits against this deck. We just went a bit too aggressive. Click for 3, install Kuru. Yeah, it's the best we have. It gives us the pressure next turn. And we are now whiffing our draw. So maybe she scores something out. Crypto's not that bad. She doesn't have the power, so she can't steal the 4-point turn thing. Because you can actually go from 4 to 8 points with the powers that be and Stokes, which is really good. My guess is server 9's an agenda. The freedom's also kind of like a blank 4-2 at this point, which is good. Oh, it's on the table. Oh, headline. Oh, that's fine. Good into Hermes. What are we Hermesing? We can open up R&D. We have pressure on HQ. This is a B1001. So there's still an agenda in play somewhere. Magistrate can be beat by overclock, which is cool. Like by just overclocking HQ. But then we give an Epiphany to counter and there's a Hallman on the table. At least it'll be over soon. We also have a tag, so we can't just like straight transfer here, which sucks because it'll just get stopped by a B on the table. We have to do like credit, remove tag, and click for credit, I guess. Again, we need to steal 4 agendas. So if you don't deal with Magistrate, there's a lot more money we have to deal with. If we steal 2 more Stokes, we're in a good spot. But yeah, with the wage workers on the table. So I think this is a B. Oh God, this is so annoying. Ooh, Concerto. The problem is like this run can be ended by a B1001 unless we're running the B1001. Do you think the Concerto is going to hit a 3 credit card and we can trash the B1001 in server 9? Let's hope. It's a Debbie. Okay, so we have 1 credit on this run. We gotta do weird stuff now. This could be an agenda. It is a freedom, yeah, with Magistrate. So we can credit overclock it, but then we get caught by a B1001 server 21. I mean, I'm gonna do it because it's funny. If they B1001 us here, it's really, really good for them. I think the deck only has 2 B1001s, but this would be really funny if that's what that is. Yeah. Well, that's a good game. Thanks a game, eh? Yeah, that's the one thing that gets us there. It's like if that's a B, there's no line that makes sense. We have no way of dealing with this, and we're just stuck at 0 credits. You don't want to get to 0 credits because you can't spend your turn clicking for 3 credits while they can score off the table. That's really, really funny. We've seen some people get caught with like clean getawaying on low credits. I wonder if you would have trashed a class act. Sorry? If you would? If I would? Or you? Like if they should have trashed the class act? I don't know if it matters that much. They have enough money if they can get it into in the middle of their turn, especially with the wage workers click. Oh. Yeah, maybe. Depends on what else you have to do on your turn. I think you just want to keep the lock going here. Yeah, but we just can't click for credits against Magistrate. So yeah, that card's really important because then we can't transfer. Like there's nothing we can do. And the only way to clear the tag is we do credit, remove a tag. Again, on this turn, maybe we overextended. We could have just done credit, remove the tag, but then they just go score this agenda. And they do quad advance, and then we're in the same spot. A choose. All right, we're going to save the replay because I want to look at that really quickly. I do think we for sure overextended. I just want to figure out where we overextended. I think our mulligan was not good. Did we only play against NBN today? Wait, view log? No log? Wait, why? Oh, it's because someone still has the game open? Why can't we watch it? So this has a log. Okay, launch replay. All right, how did things go wrong? If this ever happens, you just pop out, pop in. Okay, so they kept, and I get it, that hand seems good. This was our hand, which like, they didn't even ice HQ for the first couple turns. This hand would have been pretty dang good. Clean getaway transfer, class act. I don't know why we mulliganed this, but our deck has a lot of asset attack. We didn't draw into any of it. That definitely would have helped. It wouldn't have solved everything. And then this hand sucks. Like we literally have 1 playable card in this hand from this hand where we had 4.5 playable cards, maybe 3.5 playable cards. All right, so they do balanced Magistrate. So they actually do duck transfer here. I think that makes a lot of sense. Like I don't want to transfer into 3 assets because it's very likely they can duck it. So that makes a fair bit of sense. You kind of want to read your opponent. Like sometimes if your opponent doesn't ice HQ, you think they're a newer player. I wasn't familiar with the handle. But yeah, that's the respect play, which is cool. So we're drawing up, we get our Mystic down, we do a Carpe Diem, we go RD. It's an unknown card, we steal Crypto Crash. We should be winning the game, we're not. We draw a card, we are going to discard. Yeah, why do we mull? Because our deck has, I was told last time where we drew into that opening hand that we should be mulliganing into like Fencer Fueno, into Mystic, into Debbie, like your 1 credit per turn cards. We also have an Azuma. Like we have so much tech 4 assets that like in this hand is obviously very, very good. We can't play the Bravado, but we can play Clean Getaway, maybe Transfer Class Act. Technically, the only 2 playable cards in this hand is Clean Getaway, Class Act. Is that good enough? Yeah, maybe. The thing is like you can't safely technically clean getaway the remote server. You just probably like see what they are, let them res after a single turn. Like there's no asset that if you don't deal with it on turn 1, you lose the game anymore. Class Act filter for asset tech. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. It does cost 4 credits, but you're not wrong. Technically a new hand filters for also for asset tag, but we did draw a really bad hand after that mulligan. It shouldn't be this bad, but it was truly this bad. All right, so we did our thing. We threw out a Kurapir, which is fine. We have another one. So 2 balances go off. She whiffs the balance. It's totally unknown. And she draws a Starlit Night, which she shows us, which actually was very good information. So here she installs Wage Workers. She ices R&D, then reses the Wage Workers, ices this, and then just takes Epiphany last click. I mean, that's fine. That's kind of what you expect. You expect the Starlit Night to be on the central and the run to be on the Wage Workers. I don't love resing Wage Workers here on this low credits to show us what this is, but it worked out fine. And then off the top rope, she gets a Federal Fundraising, which is kind of perfect. So this is the turn where like I think we definitely want to deal with the balanced coverages because they're guaranteed to get 2 credits and she's not likely to have an oppo, let alone afford an oppo at this point. The issue is that we didn't touch this last card here. I don't actually think we go for this turn. Oh yeah, we do draw credit and then we just do overclock. We trash this one and we don't trash this one. This one, my read on that, this has to be a Magistrate, Revanchulator, or B1001, right? Like that's what the unresed card is. Maybe a Spin Doctor. With 1 card in hand, I think she would have res the Spin Doctor. So this has to be a Magistrate or a Revanchulate. Sorry, Magistrate, Revanchulator, or B1001. And on any turn that you trash, you want to trash multiple things because then you get more Epiphany counters. So either of these are important. And this one is a card she grabbed from her deck. Here, instead of a drawing, we probably should have dealt with one of them, but like also we might be extending. Like, can we really afford 6 credits this turn when we have no economy in our hand and no card draw? I genuinely don't know. And that's why also I don't know what sort of econ MuslihaT's comfortably on and what sort of econ we need to like kind of float on. If we had an Azamat here, like this is easy to make those decisions. So we click for credit. She gets a fundraising, which like this is not money, but this is really good because she can set up her deck. She can't flood. Like this is like such a powerful card. So she looks at the top 3 and she sets up this hand. And this is what I mean. Like now this hand, she starts with a Spin Doctor, then she can install more things. So here at this point, transfer is getting a bit better. Holloman on the table, ping on HQ. And this Holloman like is the beginning of the tilt. It's so hard to, or easy to forget how few credits you need to Holloman to Stoke the Ember. Now, it was technically off an unknown top deck because we forced a shuffle, but this is another card that this could have been on the table. I don't know if you put a Holloman on the table like this on turn 1 because this was a turn 1 install, right? Like, I don't think you put the Holloman on turn 1. So this is much more likely to be a Magistrate or a B. I think Magistrate makes a lot of sense because no matter what, the runner's losing 3 credits. B1001 is a bit more valuable, but sometimes you just have an opening hand that looks like that. All right, it's back to us. We have no credits. I don't think there's much we have to do this turn. Trashing Federal Fundraising is okay, but it's not the most important thing. I think I trashed it this turn, which is not right. Was that an Epiphany? What are we Epiphany for? Oh, zoom out. Okay, so there's an Epiphany card there off of Wage Workers. All right, so we draw the Bravado and we play the Bravado. Here, we're pretty sure this is the Starlit Night, so we can just go for it. The thing is, like, this is not actually a good run because she knows the top of R&D and she has a Spin Doctor. These are very important things. It's like this run is technically a 5 credit run because of Mystic. That's the only reason we're doing it. And that's why Bravado is actually really not that great in this matchup because it's hard to face check because all this ice has like a really bad tempo swing for you. So she res the Magistrate. I'm not sure why because she knows what this card is. And then we get our money. And then here we just want to find money. We run the Wage Workers here. I don't think this is right. The Wage Workers is not doing that much on this next turn. If anything, like we should trash the Federal Fundraising. I think I was trying to trash the Wage Workers, the Federal Fundraising, and the Magistrate, but that's too much money, and that's a check we can't really cash. The most important card to trash on this board state is probably Federal Fundraising and the Magistrate. I think the Wage Workers can probably stick. But we go for the Wage Workers, which is the most expensive card. We go for the Federal Fundraising, and we actually don't go for the Magistrate. We go for this server, which we say this might be a Federal Fundraising, and at least we're happy it is because we trashed three things, and we gave her only 1 counter, and she doesn't have a lot of money. So this felt okay. I think the Wage Workers was not important. The other ones were more important, and Magistrate is probably the most important because you end up in a bad spot if you don't deal with it. All right, so she's just going to click for 3. That's good for us, but we need a top deck economy here. We do. Clean Getaway, it's quite nice. We can just run the Magistrate. I don't know why we're running the Spin Doctor here just to force a shuffle. I'm not sure why we're doing that. It's not really a good click here. Here we're just running Archives. In theory, we could have ran server 3. It doesn't make a difference. We're just going to get our credits from this. And then here we should click for a credit and just discard a Boomerang. Instead, we're installing the Hermes, which again, I don't think that's it. I think the most important thing here is to have money because she can throw into Oppo us, not this turn, I don't think, but the next turn, or even draw deeper into her deck and just throw in an extra breaker. This Hermes is not bad. It turns out actually was kind of useless in the game, but like here we just need more money. After Bravado, maybe put down Hermes and draw. I don't know if we play Hermes. Like it does something, but it doesn't do enough. We're going to lose this game, not because we don't have Hermes pressure, but because we don't have money. And if we have Hermes pressure, we have to have breakers. Like we have to actually be running servers that are iced up. Luckily, all the agendas are in R&D. Like she did drought out as much as she had a bit of an agenda control. I'd be saving money to trash balance coverage once it hits the table. Fixing R&D doesn't matter much in my experience. If she has no counters, it doesn't matter. But I do think fixing R&D is actually like way more important than it might sound. I'm not going to say that I'm the most expert Epiphany player, but like looking at the top 3 and never drawing a dead draw, drawing 2 cards a turn and not drawing a dead draw allows you to get ahead on board state, right? Like we can barely trash 1 card a turn. This is an extra card draw, and you know the extra card draw is literally not going to be an agenda. So you can always just get 2 assets that you have to put on the table. Like this is way better than it looks. You're right, in the early game, balance is very important because money is how she can threaten Oppo, which is the one way that we get kicked out of the game. But like, I think you do need to trash this. This like not bricking draws, drawing well. It also like is, if you're going to commit to Hermes, you have to trash this because she just cannot draw an agenda if she puts her mind to it. I think with this hand, the bricked up, you just click to draw and throw out breakers and put your faith in boomerangs. Me too. Yeah, I agree. Like imagine a world where we're going to install the song console for 3 and then break a thing for 4. Like we just can't do that. So we should just get rid of it. Our deck has 2 mutual favors and an extra song console and 2 boomerangs in hand. I think we should just be drawing deeper because we win this game if we find money or consistent econ money. Yeah. So I think we just throw it out. I don't think we can afford on this board state. I think we can, but I think we only can afford if we draw deeper and not play this Hermes. All right, she draws her first agenda. She epiphanies. She gets the stoke off the top. So this is a shuffled R&D and she just gets it. At this point, I don't realize that 4 credits is what you need to score out. And I'm like the Magistrate Revanche, we don't have to deal with it. But on this board stage, she has exactly the thing. And this just blows people out of nowhere, including us. Like we ended our turn on 5 credits and that was already a bit of an overextension. And now we're starting our turn on 2 credits. Because again, on 4 credits with 1 Epiphany counter and a Hollow Man on the table, she can stoke the Embers, score, and then still have money. Again, on 4 credits, she can fast advance from the top of her deck. Gain 3 credits, have a click left, we lose 3. Oh my God. Yeah. The clean getaway on the Magistrate's probably it. We probably should just trash Magistrate on site. We probably should just trash Magistrate on site. We probably should not have contested the Spin Doctor. And then this is like the worst case scenario. Here, we probably could have let the breaks off because like she can't do anything next turn because she doesn't have the money and she doesn't have the counters. And I think we misplay into that. Sure, we bounced the HQ ice. We could have bounced the Starlit Knight, but knowing where that was is good. We could have bounced this ice, but it doesn't really matter. So we do the one thing and then she has to repair it to play around transfer. That's fine, but not really important. Now we're on 2 credits. Again, we could have maybe started next turn with 5 credits and been okay, especially because 5 credits allows you to draw a sure gamble, which MuslihaT doesn't draw, but you know what I mean? But starting on 2 credits, like, get luck. Good luck. That's so bad. All right. So we whiff our draw. We don't know what the top is. I don't know why I'm trashing this. I think I said I'm trashing this because she can move it to an iced server. And there's some truth to that. Once this is an ice server, if we don't have a pinhole, it's way harder for us to deal with. Now, she can barely res an ice, but on 2 credits, all the ice that she reses is way worse on tempo for us on face check than her. So maybe trashing this is okay here, but that puts us down to 0. We draw because we have a bricked draw here, and then we just click for 3 and click for 2 and throw this Mystic out. This sucks, especially because we gave her an Epiphany counter for no reason. We didn't have to do that. Maybe we could have waited 1 more turn with 3 pinholes and been confident, but like obviously our money's not good. We could have been on 4 credits here. Draws a king making. Wait, what? Okay, that's weird. I don't know what's in this deck that plays king making. So that means she's on real 1-pointers. So she has more agendas than we think she's on. But here she has to just start with the Spin Doctor and figure out what to do with this hand, right? Oh, she's actually going to start with Epiphany. That's interesting. And she does know the next card on RD. So maybe there's something to that. But I probably would have started with the Spin Doctor there for more options before committing. But she might know there's a balance there. Apparently not, because that was card 2. So that was not known because she saw 3, drew 1. No, she knew that was there. So she knows that that's there. She's going to put a VSA and then put a Spin Doctor behind it. Sure. Makes the board state more confusing for us. And then here we just need to stabilize. There's nothing on the table we have to run. We drew a reprise. We drew a twinning. Dead draws. Both very big bricks. We click for 3 credits, throw them out. All right, balance coverage is going. She got money. She has 2 Oppos. We're worried about Oppo. She's just, again, clicking for 3 credits. So Oppo is small Oppo, but still, like, we can't afford small Oppo. Here we need to draw something with Mystic. We draw Sure Gamble. We play Sure Gamble. We play Class Act. That's probably the best turn we could have asked for, I'm guessing. We even draw into a Sure Gamble here, but from this point, I think we really, really stumble quite bad. Okay, she has a power. She reveals it. Mind you, we do know some of the cards she's drawing because now she's showing them to us. And then she just puts 2 on the table and then passes the turn. Again, there's no reason we have to run here. We think there's a chance this is a Hollow Man. I don't know what list she's running. The world's list was only on 2 Hollow Men, but if this is a Hollow Man, we only have to run it if this is with a counter, and it's not. The other thing is like if there's a wage workers, there could be a 4-2 on the table. We've seen one wage worker so far. None of these decks I've seen have been playing 3 of them. I think they're usually on 2 of them. So maybe we don't have to play around that. But this should be relatively straightforward. We don't need to interact with this. We just need to stabilize our economy. Problem is, again, a lot of our hand is a brick. We do draw once. Sorry, that's MuslihaT draw. We do sure gamble, and I don't know why we're running. I don't know why we're running here. We shouldn't be running here. There's nothing we have to trash. We've seen already 2 federal fundraisings. That's it. She can afford Oppo, so we don't want to play that game. There's nothing here that's going to be super, super relevant. I don't know why we're doing this, and we trash the wage workers. Maybe because we think there's a 4-2 here because it wasn't res last turn. That's the cool thing that she did, where she put this behind ice and iced it up, so it looked important and it wasn't really. But now we've turned on Oppo and we undid the sure gamble, and we still have a very ugly hand here. Now we're running this because of Epiphany, but at this point, like, we shouldn't have made the first run. Now the second run is putting us 3 credits fewer behind. All these runs probably should be the magistrate in the first place, so we're just going to do the triple trash, but we do not have the credit book to back this up. We're down to 3 credits, and she can oppo us, and this is where the game is over. We just shouldn't have done that. 100% we shouldn't have done it. I think we're going to trash something. Mag is the highest priority. I think it is, and I think I don't have enough experience playing against this card. I think it's the sort of card that locks you from the deck, but you also know that she's playing 3 of them. So like, of course the second one's going to show up. The thing is, like, the way that I see it, that this card only fires if she can score out. So the way that I think about it, if I can just stop her from scoring out, we don't have to deal with this. Like, deal with the wage workers, deal with the Holloman, stuff like that. But like, no, that's not the truth. Just having more money. That's all we need. Just have more money. All right, so balance coverage. She spin doctors first. So balance coverage is an unknown card, I think. She whiffs, so it's not an asset. We know that. She sets up Warm Reception B1001 and then Epiphanies and gets another balance coverage. So like, that is an absurd 3 clicks for a turn. All things that we have to deal with or we lose the game. And again, I'm going to highlight this here. We're on 3 credits. I do want to say that I wasn't playing around Warm Reception Spin Doctor, and that combination is just gross. I don't think it's healthy. That's just silly. And now if we don't interact, we lose the game. And at this point, she's been like very, very not oppoing us. I think she here easily could have just sent 1 oppo into us just to slow everything down, but she's just building out and like it's working out for her. And then she can just keep this for whenever she's on threat, wherever it matters more. 3 credits when you steal 2, so you're either trashing for 3 or eat 6 over the course of the game. It's like the most mathematically correct trash on almost all board states. You're definitely not wrong, but I think I want to stabilize my economy and just not deal with her. The problem is I'm dealing with other stuff. Like, you're right, but in theory, we can trash it later when we've played a sure gamble or something, but you're 100% right. All right, we get a concerto. We get a bravado off the concerto. We're concertoing a random card. Not 100% sure why. We don't have to trash any of these cards. We find a B1001. Technically, it's a must trash. We've turned on Oppo. We've given an Epiphany counter. We have a bravado. We're checking balance coverage. We can't trash that. We install a Sunk Conchal because we're playing around Crypt. Why did we install a Sunk Conchal here? Why did we go down to 0 credits willingly? Wait, what were we thinking? Why did we go down to 0 credits willingly? Were we worried about crypto? Why did we do this? We bankrupt ourselves. Wait, why did we do this? Can anyone remind me why we did this? Why did we install this? We can throw out the pinhole here. This is such a bizarre install. It's not useful. It's all of our money. We're going to get oppoed. I don't know why we installed this. I have no idea. Anyways, it's bad. She continues to set up, she oppos us, and at this point the game is over because we can't clear the tags and do anything. We also have the bravado. We bravado the remote server. It's a Mesny. That's kind of cool. Oh, actually, we want to go HQ. The Mesny would have been way better because she spends way more on it. But instead, the ping, we get a tag. We didn't have a good read what the ice on HQ is. This is the ice that was on turn 1, I think. So that's usually a cheap end to run. We know this is a Starlit Night, so this could have been anything. The song was for VSA. Yeah, but when are we running into a VSA? Was it just so that we could face check? I think it was like, oh, this is this 2 strength thing. We can face check into VSAs. But that can't be it. Like, the liquidity is so much more important. All right, she reses the prototype. We're on 6 credits. We're worried about what's it called? Not Big Brother. We're worried about Bigger Picture, and we're worried about Vlad. She doesn't have either of them. We start flailing. We have to take down Warm Reception because Warm Reception Spin Doctor is just absurd, and we clear tags. And yeah, the game's over at this point. She does draw a lot of agendas. At this point, it makes sense. Like, she's gone through 29 cards. She has shuffled Spin Doctor once. So like, HQ pressure probably is like very strongly converting, especially with Hermes. Issues like a B1001 does some problems. So she does wage workers, she epiphanies, she knows or gets a magistrate, I'm not sure. And then she can do the thing where she puts the thing on top of the deck. And then she discards an agendas, which spin doctor again. With a spin doctor to the table, we have to remember that she will throw out agendas. And you actually do want to throw out Stoke into archives, because if you do ever fire powers that be, it does actually score Stoke from archives, which like is a way that you can do a 4-point combo. Anyways, for this point, it's cooked because magistrate's on the table at 0 credits. There's nothing we can do. So there was a couple turns where we went too far trashing and solving the breakers like strictly wrong. We did not draw well. We did not play well. I think if we did one of those better, we could have been competitive. But it's at the point where like it gets away from you, and this definitely got away from us. Like we were kind of doing okay, and then it gets away from you for sure. I don't know the consistent way to win this matchup without opening hard tech. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Like this matchup has some really good stuff into some of your stuff. Like some of your criminal power cards, Bravado, hard to play in this matchup. Transfer Wealth, hard to play in this matchup. The strength of your breakers, like Kurapure, are irrelevant in this matchup. Revolvers are relevant in this matchup. So a lot of the things that you're good at are irrelevant in this matchup. Run events are good. That's great. As much as like B1001 being tagged is an issue. The faction has no hard asset tech. Like, does Criminal have any hard asset tech besides Hannah and like Clean Getaway? So you need hard tech for that. Your console choice doesn't seem super relevant. Like you strictly can't play Rotary. Hermes is okay. And then you need like pinch multi-axis. Like one of the best things you can do is like let federal fundraisings happen and then C2 on R&D. But that is something that requires us to float tags or not float tags and play like a 3 credit, sync. Hannah isn't a crib card. I assume you meant Debbie. Oh, sorry. I meant to say Debbie. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Play Miss Bones. This is the sort of matchup which I would rather play. Obviously, Lou is like obviously the choice, but like just play Companion Soup. Penny Shaver was generally the way I won this matchup. Oh yeah, Penny Shaver could be good. Penny Shaver could be really quite good because then you're actually paid to check things, which is nice. Missing Miss Bones, yeah. Yeah, but it's like the math is weird, right? So a lot of people don't like acid decks. And the thing is, like, at the end of the day, okay, so say our opponent had 3 ice on a server, and this turn they put a card in the remote server behind 3 ice. Say 2 ice, let's be reasonable, it's 2 ice. And say it was like a Sleipnir into whatever, some HB ice. How many credits does it cost you that turn to deal with the problem that our opponent presents? How many credits does it take you? Firstly, you need to have your breakers installed, which in that matchup you're going to do anyways, because breakers are important. But you need to install your breakers, and then you have to run that server. Say that server cost you 6 credits, okay? So this turn, they did 1 click that made you spend 6 credits. Can they do it again next turn? Sure. They can do it next turn that can maybe cost 6 credits. Okay, and that's how the game works, right? That's how mid-range Glacier works, let alone once it comes to defensive upgrades, all that math differs a fair bit. The thing is, like, this deck, there was turns where it produced, and the thing is, like, assets where the difference is, it's not that it produced, 6 credits worth of things to trash. Each of those servers is another click we have to check. Now, admittedly, they eventually res them. Usually after a turn or two, they res their stuff, so we know what their stuff is. And that's one of the big differentiators. Once you're good at assets, you can usually have a hard tell, especially if you know your opponent, like, oh, I know what that card is, so you can make better decisions. But at the end of the day, it's not only that we have to spend 6 credits on that turn, is we have to spend 6 credits, but we have to make 3 separate runs. Like, there's turns where she installs, 3.5 cards, and no card in her deck has a trash cost lower than 2. It's very hard to keep up with that. It's obviously going to be hard to keep up with that. Do you kill the defensive assets, leave everything else alone, and keep the pressure on centrals? Giving up on shutting down the game plan and trying to win faster than they can. It's hard with Magistrate. Like, you have to deal with Magistrate if you're going to do that. I think maybe there's a world you can get enough pressure on centrals, but the problem is, like, pressure on centrals, you need to steal 4 out of the 10 agendas in the deck. And every time you steal an agenda, you give them an Epiphany counter, which also allows them to do something. Not that I'm saying that's useless, but generally the wisdom in acid matchups to date is stop them from doing their thing. Because usually acid matchups need a certain amount of things to be on the table to stick for them to have a chance of winning. Because if there's no Holloman, if there's no, wage workers, they can't win because they have to do install advance behind flimsy ice. So classically, that's been like the logic. Like, oh, destroy the things that matter, leave the things that don't matter, and watch them flounder. We definitely didn't do that in this game. If we had more money, were we even able to do in this game? I don't 100% know. But that's usually why you don't just send to centrals. You could do the Mercury thing, play Hermes, and just like jailbreak centrals and hope. And like, yeah, you could win, but you always could win. But generally, that's how you interact with assets is you ignore your win condition and you stop them from their win condition. Only when things gets too messed up where you can't win their win condition, that's where you send it centrals. But generally in this matchup, at least at competitive tables, that happens when you're on 4 agenda points. Because usually you get to 4 agenda points and then Oppo is 4 tags, which you just can't interact with. So you just let them do whatever they want. They can get near to game point, and then you just don't give them another Epiphany counter. You slow them at the start, but eventually switching to centrals happen. Yeah, exactly. You want to slow them at the start, and then at some point, specifically when you're on threat 4, you can't trash things anymore because you can't really interact with Oppo in an intelligent way in 2026, I don't think. And then you don't want to give them Epiphany counters. That's why it's really important, from my understanding, to like get a Stoke the Embers in the bin, get a Powers That Be, so you can go from the corporation from 4 to 8 in a single turn. I think you install twinning and try to stay on 2 points or lower while building up counters. You can, for sure you should in the mid to late game. That's where like having the combo of prototype warm reception can get you because it can bounce it. So you have to be a bit cautious about that. But yeah, that's usually it. You deal with the board until it gets away from you and then you build up your central pressure. We did a really bad job managing our economy. We didn't draw well, but like we could have played way better with the way that we drew. This last turn was hilarious too. It's like, okay, if this is this, it's the worst case scenario. We're still gonna like shoot for it because that's the only way we can possibly win, but it was the worst case scenario. Interestingly, on king making, is it better than betted as a 1 copy? I haven't ever seen. Oh, what this is probably is that this is the world's winning list, or a version of the world's winning list, like that sort of Epiphany archetype. And it usually played, if I'm not mistaken, 1 Awful office. So my guess is that they swapped it for a king making. I don't know why, because king making draws cards. Maybe that's worth something, but there's probably no 1-pointers in the deck. So I could see you playing an embedded reporting. That's probably fine. It has technically good text. It's a bit awkward with Epiphany because if you know the information, you don't want to shuffle. But I'm pretty sure this deck had 1 or 2 off-worlds, and so it had to get swapped out. I wouldn't have reached for king making, but I don't know what else you reach for in NBN. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I do think the list was on an off-world at some point. Embedded seems fine. It's a good card, and you can never advance it, which is like a nice little surprise. Let alone it has good text. Like you do play 5 or 6 operations that are very good. Anyways, yeah, wild. This sort of list too is like these sort of archetypes. A lot of people didn't like to play because if it's like Solidary Badge, Hannah, Anarch, like Seb, let alone Lou, it's probably pretty difficult. It comes down to the oppo from my experience. But I don't know if we're seeing less and less of that. I think I'd go for the advancement counter one. Forgot the name of that. No, that is embedded reporting. Right? Oh, remastered edition? I don't think I'd play remastered edition. Maybe. If you're running the shipment from Vladislavsk, or sorry, if you're running the Vladislavsk City Grid version, then I would. And some people are playing Epiphany with Vladislavsk instead of Hollowman. I haven't tried it yet. We probably should at some point. Oh my God, it's midnight. It's tomorrow. Gotta go. Thanks so much for hanging out, y'all. It's been a Thursday, that's for sure. We didn't get to show the acidness off of that list, but I do think MuslihaT's like a really fun thing to be playing right now. Thanks so much to all these names here and more to support the Metropole Grid on Patreon. So we can do things like this, like stream late into Friday and all the other sort of stuff. I definitely have to do some video stuff where we need to do a little talk through the mega cities, or sorry, the districts that we captured. That has to be done. So hopefully that comes up on the channel soon. If you want to support the Metropole Grid, you can find a link to the Patreon. Shout out also to our Daily Cast patrons, all these nice folks that support the channel so we can continue to do stuff like this. It's incredibly appreciated. If you want to take a second, just leave a like on the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, all that sort of stuff. Also is a nice way to say thanks to the channel. This weekend, if you're playing in the mega cities, good luck. Very importantly, not this weekend, but next weekend is the Summer Showdown, which is going to be streamed, I believe, on this channel as well as on Axu's channel. We'll be very excited to stream that. If you're a part of it, good luck, have fun. Those are killer events. I'm pretty sure it's in 2 weekends, right? On the 24th. We may have a Megacity stream. Changeling, let me know the link if you have that. That's awesome. But yeah, Megacities are just coming up. I know there's 2 this weekend, so good luck for testing and getting into that and having a good time. Organized play is the best. I cannot recommend more getting involved, even if you don't know what you're doing. That's specifically everyone starts when they don't know what they're doing. So that's a great time to join in. Thanks so much for hanging out. Catch you in the next one. We'll be back next Thursday. See you there.